Brandon here on TACT, live for the very first night. This is open mic night, current events. We talking it up, doing what we doing right now with the regular cast of characters and the folks that I've been around for a decade plus. You know what I'm saying? So I'm great to be here to talk about it. So I'm gonna let these three guys introduce themselves. V's in the green room right now. I don't know
Yeah,
what he's
like
doing.
what?
I see a green
It's like
box.
what happened?
I see a green box.
He
But,
back there popping collars.
I don't know.
He
I didn't do
popping
nothing.
leprechauns back there. Hey,
Well,
remember he was talking about my video last night? He done got the green screen.
he's got the ultimate green screen, so hopefully we can get him in and get him rolling. So we're here, and there he is. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. All right,
we heard you had to dip out, man. And
I don't know what happened. Like I said, I was sitting there and it looked like it froze. I don't know what happened.
we got
Hey, you
we
hit
got
mine,
my
Jack.
folks here on open mic night discussing current events throughout the world, and I'm gonna start with the top person to give an intro to himself. So, top left, BMO.
Me? Oh, hey.
I'm about to say, 'cause I'm like,
Well, you said the main person. I'm thinking Ms. Nscinse, but since he's been like the root of the tree, so to speak. But I'm B-Mo, to be honest with you. I'm just a brother with an opinion. That's all. And I'm gonna pass over to Mr. Nscinse because I'm gonna keep it brief so the man can speak.
And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nscinse, Truth Awoke in conspiracy theory. I keep saying that because we started back way with 2008ish, 7, 8ish, or whatever.
Yeah.
So and it was Truth Conspiracy Theory Thursday. So now we've evolved into the new, era of what they call now podcasting. Because when we did this, it was online radio.
Exactly.
But now it's called podcasting. So now we revamped our name, and now it's Truth Awoke in Conspiracy Theory. So.
And I am VFromVegas, West with it. That's it.
And we're here. We're live on YouTube. We're also live on Twitch for the very first time. So any and everybody that's going to be able to see this live now. Welcome to the show. We can be able to add any comments onto the chat room, and as we go and flow, we'll make sure that we have access to people's opinions because this is what we do. This is how we get down. This is what we doing. Like my man Mr. Nscinse said, since 2008. So we're gonna start off with the Carmelo Anthony situation that's going on in Texas, where he was sentenced 35 years for the murder of Austin Metcalf. It's national attention clearly because a lot of the situation that happened between what went on in terms of how he basically unalive Austin Metcalf and the lie behind it. So everything is happening to the point right now. Metcalf's family is being threatened. Everybody's saying it's a racial divide now because of what is going on. So I'm gonna start with whoever wants to talk. Where are we at right now in terms of how do you feel about this situation and keep other people up to speed on it?
I actually need to. I got a question because I've heard a little bit about this. Like I said, I don't know the whole details. I remember back when, what was the stabbing that happened or something like that, a track meet or something like that? Yeah, but pretty much ever since then, I just hear a little bit. I heard the name Carmelo Anthony, but I don't know I don't know all the details about.
So let me break it down for you then. So the incident, it was in a track meet. Anthony refused to leave the rival team's tent. Argument ensued. Metcalf shoved him. Anthony pulled a folding knife, stabbed Metcalf in the chest. That happened. That went on last year or whatnot. And again, this particular situation right here sparked a lot of debate in terms of a lot of people bringing up racial divide. A lot of people are, saying that it was in self-defense. A lot of people has a lot of different opinions in regards to this. So, we kind of want to touch bases on it because, 35 years for this shocked a lot of people. But a lot of people are saying that this young man has a right to appeal based on the situation at hand. So anything that we all know, just opinion about this.
So
Well,
dude
go,
hit Carmelo Anthony, and instead of fighting with him, he just got a knife and stabbed him.
Pretty much, that's basically what they're saying. It's supposed to be a video out about it, but we haven't seen the video, which is crazy. That no videos have came out about this. It's a fight at a school event, and no videos. I'm
With
thinking
all
every
the phones they got.
yeah, it's odd that no videos was out, but supposedly there is a video. But yeah, basically that is. Now, when you just think about it on the surface, should somebody be dead because y'all get into an altercation with a knife? No, but I also think that what I need to know what happened. Did he say? But I think he said something like "touch me and find out" or something like that, which is you giving a person a
right.
warning. Now, if you pulled a knife out and said touch me and find out, that's your warning to you're gonna get stabbed if you do. So to me, is that self-defense when if I pull out a gun and I say, put your hands on me, you decide you're gonna put your hands on me and I pop your ass. Is that self-defense?
Yeah, it should be, because I mean, you warned him up front. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Is that gonna keep you out of jail? Because I'm thinking I don't know how
I
that
mean,
works.
I don't know, but I mean, to me,
I,
It's
it
self-defense to me,
logically it
but
makes sense.
is that gonna keep you out of jail?
I mean,
it just
Now, I don't think
depends.
they should get 35 years for this because I don't think that these kids was trying to kill each other. I think they was being kids doing stupid, silly shit. But you don't get to choose how far I take it. You might spit on me and I might beat your ass into a coma.
mm-hmm.
To me,
Mhm.
that's justified. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, because spitting on somebody is one of the worst things you can do. I'll put your ass in a coma if it's me, if you did it. But is that right? How far are we supposed to go? We ain't supposed to take it further than self-defense is really supposed to take necessary force. So if you getting
Right.
your ass whooped, but they trying to say size, he only like 140, 150 pounds or something like that. These kids was football players over 210, and it was more than one.
Right.
Yep, it
So
was brothers and then some.
yeah. So do you
It's,
take that into account?
Yeah, and here's another layer to it. The prosecutors argue that Anthony provoked the fight and called it a sneak attack, and they stated that a simple push or shove should not lead to a deadly stabbing. And and here's the thing, and this is where the culture divide I think begins and ends, because in Black culture, if somebody says "touch me and you'll find out," all right, that
That's your
translates
final
to
one.
me that I see you as a threat, and if you provoke me, I will defend myself in the best way I feel possible. And for us, if we hear the word "touch me and find out," or "you got one more time," that's like, okay, I'm serious. Leave me alone.
Right.
And there has always been a disconnect when it comes to African American English, how we use our language and our words and our analogies that other segments of the country don't understand, because this has happened before where somebody says "touch me and you'll find out," you got one more time, and those are not provocations. Those are like, I'm going to be forced to defend myself. I'm about to get serious. Leave me alone. you
Right.
know and then we look at the situation where Metcalf, his brother, they both were trying to tell him to leave, which they had no authority to. you
Right. That's my
know
thing too. You don't have no authority to make me leave. I
yeah,
don't have to leave. Fuck you. And if you try to force me to leave, I can do some damage to you. So,
exactly.
like I said, I need to see the video, but it ain't supposed to end in nobody's death over something like that.
Exactly.
When do we have in this world a situation where a person's life is over because of differences of opinion in terms of where somebody should be? I believe in self defense. If you're telling me I'm in this spot right here and you're telling me to move, I don't need to move. I'm going to stand where I need to stand. And who are you to tell me what? You're not the owner. You're not this. You're not that. To
Mhm.
get it to the point where it escalated, where this man felt his life is threatened, is, to me, I think it goes to a certain situation right now where I feel like if that man felt like his life was threatened because this guy is basically pushing on the situation, telling him to remove, and I'm saying this from a jury standpoint, why did they find that it was just cause for this guy who is in clear self-defense in this situation right now, where this man is now, his life is over. This dude was a teenager.
Understand that you can't
35
use
years.
deadly force with that. You can't use deadly force in that situation. Basically, what they're saying.
And I see a serious problem with the ruling because they're saying you can't use deadly force, right? But here's the thing: they're in the state of Texas. It's an open carry state. Um, what if Anthony believed that he had a weapon? What if Anthony believed that he had a rifle or any type of thing that could harm him? We don't know that,
Right.
and he didn't know that. So if somebody comes and let's just back up real quick. The reason why I think he got a guilty plea the way he got it is because there were no African Americans on the jury, and there was nobody to translate to people who don't have any experience about our euphemisms, how we speak, the way we speak. Like there was a guy who got arrested for shoplifting, right? And then he said something to the effect of, "I have bands," or "I got stacks," and they automatically thought that it was a threat. I don't know if you ever saw that video of the white woman who misunderstood what the gentleman was trying to say, and then she had him assaulted and arrested by the police because she didn't understand Black English. So when you got people who are not experienced with that, the attorney can go back and say, "Oh, that was a provocation," but every Black person in America knows it's not.
Is culture supposed to be a deciding factor in a lawsuit?
No, but understanding what words mean and understanding what the intrinsic definitions of what we say and how we say it is material. Is very material. And if you don't have
but if it ain't a part of the law that says that I'm supposed to take that in consideration, is it supposed to be taken in consideration?
I think it should be taken.
I think so too. But
yep,
that's still. But then again, now we coming into a gray area that everybody's supposed to know your language. How am I supposed to know what your language is to know that?
Well, the thing is, it is an unequal jury because if you didn't have anyone to make the argument of what we say and how we say it to clarify our words and what they mean, or say if you had like a guy that didn't speak Spanish, it didn't speak English, he spoke Spanish, he spoke Farsi, you have someone to translate that. There's context in these words. So I think that's the state. I think the state did Anthony injustice because he was not tried by a jury of his peers. First of all, he was tried by people who were not African American, who were of different ethnicities, and who didn't understand the cultural nuances of what he was saying. Because we all know if somebody says, "Touch me again and you'll find out," we know that that's not a provocation. That's, "Hey, I'm threatened and I'm giving you a chance to walk away." Because I don't know you and you don't know me, and I'm going to see you as a threat. Go ahead.
No, I was just like, so, I mean, that's why did they do like a big court case? And how, with like Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, you sleeping, brother.
Don't say it was live. I wish I'd have known.
You've been a little late to that, bro. It's been national news, man. National news.
It's been massive news.
Y'all know I've been going through it though. This last
yes, we understand.
We're gonna give you this pass,
this whole last year, 6 months to a year. So yeah, that's why I'm behind, bro.
Yeah,
but no, that's why I was like, I don't know the details as far as the defense. Basically, I see what you're saying, BMO, because to me, that's, in my opinion, that's say, hey, I'm warning you. If you do anything further, then I must meet you with force. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
equal force is what the law says, though. Equal force. That's the same thing that Chud the Builder about to get his ass roasted on, because we gonna trip out if they don't roast him for the same thing. Because he don't get to use deadly force when somebody punched him in the face.
Right.
So now this Chud the Builder thing is finna be real serious, because if you let him go, when you just put our young boy, this child, in prison for 35 years. And then, like I said, when people say about this kid was bad, this kid, it wasn't no. There's nothing that says this was a bad kid. It just says it was an incident that happened between two people, which could happen between any two fucking people. Two of the nicest people in the world could have had this situation happen between them.
When are we going to get to a point where, you know, I believe in, you know, let me do it to you before it gets done to me? Because if somebody's trying to like end me, then let me try to get you before you get me. Like that's kind of where it is. But also, I get the whole circumstances of the situation. I mean, what was to happen if, you know, we don't know if this dude was armed, but then again, he might be. It's such a
let's try to do it on what we do know. We do know that he wasn't armed. Let's not try to because I think that that's one thing about why this became so big too, because we do look at it as racial. But I think that we are so we get tired of saying shit that we thought was according to you in the law and what you supposed to do. When those go backwards, we sit around and we wait for like, okay, we know that this is gonna be some bullshit, but let's see what happens. It shouldn't happen this way, but let's see what happens, because we got another example of it going another way in the exact same situation. Let's see what happens. I think we so ready for that I ain't gonna say we overreacting, because I think that it needs to have a serious reaction every single goddamn time. Every single time. I'm surprised that there ain't no riots behind this. I'm surprised. I'm real surprised behind that shit, but it's a lot of people that's pissed off about it. I think that we're starting to be, which I think they want it to be too, is the rioting or whatever, because so many of us go, well, we're tearing up our own shit. No, we're not. No, we're not. You know what I'm saying? And then, I believe that you got to have protesters. You got to have people that ain't going to protest are going to do it a different way. You got to have every facet, every level of this constantly on their ass about this shit. That's how we got changed to move in the first place. Because if you ain't got constant pressure and we allow them to try to bend it another way and twist it another way, now our fight, the only fight that we really had, is starting to become useless.
All white
jury.
All white jury.
Oh no,
non-white
jurors. Non-white jurors. The other three were Asian and Muslim, and that was it. And I think the way they crafted it was the three non-white jurors who were not black were their argument for having a balanced jury. But the thing is this, you know, attorneys know the nuances of what we're talking about, which is why they made sure that they got rid of the black jurors. Like one argument was
hold on. Let me, because did y'all must not have seen that the father has spoken on that. So y'all must not have seen what he said so far. I turned it off. I already figured what it was. It was gonna piss me off, but I caught enough of it. What he's basically saying, that y'all niggas was stupid for fucking going on there and saying, because you could have had black jurors, but all y'all said is, hell no, I can't put no 14-year-old boy and be unbiased about putting him in prison. So they got rid of every last one of the black people that said that shit. So he was saying y'all are stupid for saying it, but basically says to me that y'all would lie and say that y'all would be unbiased and would do it any goddamn way, which that's how I took it. So when they removed the black jurors, assuming that the law is your peers are black people. No, they're not. That ain't how the law looks at that. The law looks at it as peer of your age or in your group or your neighborhood or whatever. Ain't got shit to do with race.
Right.
So when we say that, that's us speaking on that's how that's supposed to go. When we'll get a wrong answer and then be in our feelings when that ain't even the basis of what they're gonna do. Your peers ain't got nothing to do with race. That's how they look at that. But we all feel like it should have something to do with that. But you know that we don't make that decision.
Yeah, we don't like because that, we don't have their equal representation
on what they gonna say based on that. Because I knew when Trayvon when I knew that they was gonna try to leak that in and acquit this boy, because they was gonna try to say that it wasn't Trayvon that was screaming. So we assume that certain things should happen a certain way when the law don't see it that way at all, and then we'll get mad about it when it don't happen that way. So we got to be very careful about that. Because we got to look at the laws. What does the law actually say? How much leeway does it really give? And it's not based on our assumption of what we think is fair.
Right.
You see, I think that, in my opinion, I think the law has been designed for the past, ever since the existence in the United States to work against a black man. I believe that that these standards were co-opted and created to systematically keep us in jail. Because if you look at the nuances which they dance around, you know, George Zimmerman followed Trayvon, assaulted Trayvon, shot Trayvon, killed Trayvon, and then he walked away for it.
Yep.
You know, Carmelo Anthony, he was approached, he was threatened, he had violence forced upon him, the threat of violence forced upon him. He gave Metcalf a warning, and then he still went to jail. It's the same
Yep.
thing like Brock Turner can, you know, assault a woman and get no time. It's the same thing that Jillian Maxwell can go to a maximum security prison, have a conversation, all of a sudden she's put in club fed. You know, and the thing is, just because it's legal doesn't necessarily make it right.
I agree with
Because
that. I agree with that.
because we know that these factors have been in play. These factors have been in play since Emmett Till, you know, Medgar Evers, um, Zimmerman, all these things we see that contribute to race, that contribute to nuance, that has hurt us. And I do agree, just because it's legal doesn't make it right. That's why we need representation in our government to make sure that we have a balanced jury that understands everything, because words matter, intent matters, context matters. And when you have attorneys who understand that, and they purposefully, and they've been doing this for generations, removing ample representation or representation out of jury pools, we get charged, we get convicted, we go to jail. And then you can see a white guy go to a convenience store, shoots a black guy dead because he felt like he was threatened, and then he walks free. When you weigh it pound to pound, it just doesn't make any sense. Why does a black man in Florida get 7 times harsher sentencing than a white man in Florida for the same crime with the same criminal profile? You know, somebody gets 2 years, we get 20. Somebody can murder somebody, gets 3 years, or you know, PDF files, you know, like the one in Texas who gets a freaking pardon, if I'm correct. And then we do 20 years for a weed violation. First time.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what we have to change and consider. But go ahead.
Let me ask y'all this, because I'm going to put a different spin on this situation, because I kind of feel like we've seen it a lot, or at least I've seen it a lot in my lifetime, where, you know, someone dies, just keep it a buck for no reason, or someone dies where it could have been how it was back in the day. You know what? Somebody got a problem. Let's put on some gloves. Let's go to war. And then whoever got dropped, that was it. Probably shook hands and kept it moving. Um, I don't see that anymore in terms of how people move these days. And V, you said it earlier about why is there no video of this incident when there's so many cameras everywhere on everything. Should be the same for specific things. So my question, because we've seen this, and I'm gonna go back to an old movie that we all know and love, or, you know, in terms of Boys in the Hood. Remember that moment where old boy rushed into him and he was like, what you looking at, or whatever, and then that came back to get him later on, right? So why are we here with this situation where this both boys should be here? One is physically not here, the other one system got him, but why are we here where we shouldn't?
What do you mean? Why would these kids be fighting, or what exactly you asking?
Why are we in a situation where the people are literally killing people for no goddamn reason? And I'm not saying that in this particular case, but in general, where, you know what, Anthony had the knife, he did what he felt like he needed to do. I get that part too. But also in general, if it's pushing and shoving and saying get out and here, this, that, and the other, how come people just don't, you know what, let's just go fight. Let's go do that.
Thing is, that's the thing. We everybody is trying to live and abide by a social contract that everybody didn't agree upon. I think that the reason why our youngsters do the shit that they do, and we are so violent in the hood, is because that is our set of laws. You run your mouth, you get hit in your mouth. You do something, you subject to get your ass shot behind this shit. Those are the laws of our land. And everybody that lives there knows that, and that you violate or you don't violate. Then there's a whole nother construct that we got to live by that governs over them. But we never agreed to who these people are. We don't respect them. That's because I've been asked that and thought about it a lot, and I go, we don't respect them. That's the same reason why your youngsters don't respect a lot of the elders. They respect me. I get OG all the time. I hear all the time, all these young kids, they don't have no respect because you don't demand respect. Respect ain't given. Respect is you demand. You walk in a room, people ain't gonna say shit to Mike Tyson's girlfriend or disrespect his children. Nothing, because you know who the fuck you're dealing with. You're gonna get your teeth knocked out if you do that. And we all have it. Men have it or better than women. That's the reason why women are with each other all damn day and nothing happens. Two men, that happens. You get two men in a room that don't like each other long enough, they will fight. For sure. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's just the way it goes. We just have laws. You probably get fired before you end up beating your supervisor's ass. That's the only thing that's stopping you from doing it. You got fired first, or you quit, or you was about to and you went to jail. But if you leave you two niggas in the room long enough, y'all will go at it. And that's just the way of the world. And we try to pretend like this ain't the case. It's always been the case since day one. We are going to do that. Every damn animal on this earth either got a spike on his tail or red fur or something to say, if you go there, I will kill you with this. That's just natural. And you know what I'm saying? We have a difference of what's okay and what's not okay. I'm okay with the world that goes, if you go too far, you get your ass whooped. I'm with that. I'm with it. If you get shot, if you get caught in my goddamn house, I don't need the police here to litigate this. You got caught in my house and put a hole in your ass. Get up out of here. That's simple to me. But we got to.
You know what? You just brought up a good point. I got a question.
We know
because two things. Texas has stand your ground laws, right?
Yeah. Most states, as far as I know, I don't know states that don't have a standing ground rule of some sort.
All right. So Texas has a stand your ground law. They have you don't have a duty to retreat, and you can apply with acceptable force. So knowing that, and my question or my thought about this is, if a police officer can shoot a man with a cell phone because he said he feared for his life and kill somebody dead, and that's legal. How is it that a regular citizen who was threatened by multiple people could not say that I fear for my life because I was getting attacked by people who I didn't know, more than one? I felt like I was overwhelmed, and not be able to use the same reasonable amount of defense that a cop would? That's my question, which probably no one can answer that, but these are inconsistencies that I'm thinking of right now. But go ahead.
I think that's a valid. Like I said, that's what we have a problem at. I said, because that's the thing. If you get one group of people with one culture, whatever, I think that these things aren't as hard. I think that's the reason why you'll see less violence in certain places, not because they're any better. It's just that I can have humanity for my own kind more than any other kind. So when you got a multitude of different cultures around, their laws and bylaws and how far you can go with disrespect is totally different. Right. And if that one group that is pro-violence consistently see violence being done upon them and no justice come to it, they're gonna be more violent.
Yeah.
They're gonna be more violent. They're gonna get punked into no violence. And we don't really see the punked into no violence ever. That's any group of people. Until they see it their way, to the justice they see is fit, is carried out, you're gonna have a rebuttal and you're not gonna see eye to eye. And as long as we live in a society where somebody else that don't even like us, that feels like we should get more punishment than anybody else, we got to deal with that until we decide, okay, we ain't dealing with that shit no more. And it's usually gonna be violence that's gonna be that's gonna get you that. At least that's how it's been in the rest of the world. The reason why they're able to tell you what to do, they use violence to get it there. It was not democratic. It wasn't, we're gonna sit all down and damn, you guys lost the vote, niggas. So y'all get the short end of the stick. That ain't how it happened. They beat your ass over the head with a stick and told you this how it's gonna go. So I don't know why we keep acting like violence is not natural in part of nature. It is. It's very natural. We try to
Yep.
figure out a way to litigate it out of life. It is part of life just as much as breathing is.
Yep. I'll say this, and we know the reason why we have laws, especially laws in this country, is because our citizens just don't know how not to be awful people. But with that being said, um, when it comes to violence, especially amongst Black people, the data showing is mainly out of poverty and not out of race. And then when we look at other demographics, that doesn't match up, and sometimes people are just violent because they have that nature. But
I
with
think that
that
it's
being said,
important to simple
go ahead.
things. I think that when you in that environment, like I said, you got people that's actually everybody wants to be a part of something and be a part of something that's actually winning or respected or whatever the case may be. We got these
Mhm,
young kids in the hood that have nothing. They don't have
mhm,
the so-called the good ones of us don't have nothing to do with them, don't spend no time with them. So if you're gonna try to get any kind of happiness out of life, whatever it's gonna be, so whether it be sports, whether it be you fucking the most girls in the neighborhood, whether it be you the toughest in the neighborhood, whether it be you
mhm.
hang with the coolest crew in the neighborhood, you're going to be a part of one of these groups. So
Yeah,
unless there's enough groups that steer these kids in a different direction, they're choosing these because it's easy to join. I can be me, broke, poor, not having this, enjoying this game. That I
right.
fit all the requirements for this game. But when we set the standards of, well, you got to cut your hair. Well, my hair is already like this. Well, you got to pick them tattoos out. Well, I don't have the money to take them off. I already put them on. Well, you can't be a felon. Well, shit, I did that before. Well, how do I get back on the right track? When you give them nothing, they're
Mhm,
gonna take whatever it is that they got and make something out of it. So we got to start
right.
giving them something other than that. If
So
brother, and
what?
the only thing that you getting happiness out of is running with the homeboys that actually get a few girls, or sit your ass in the room by yourself and play Sega Genesis till you die, it's not a hard decision.
Right.
So what can we give them then? Because I
We have to be
agree
more
when you
active.
say
The people
that.
that actually always talking this shit about them have to be there. We have to have sports organizations that you don't have any goddamn price tag to, that we just there on the weekend to go, come on, y'all we finna play. You finna see
Mhm,
some men and adults interact and deal with each other. We don't have none of that. So they are around each other. So the toughest is leading the group. The most handsome he gonna tell you how to get girls. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're getting it. We don't give them no type of outlet to be something other than what they are. So they be great gangsters. They be great. I'm fucking every girl in the neighborhood, which will come with a few pregnancies and your life fucked up.
Mhm.
mhm,
Remember back in the day, we had those. What was it? PAL? Was it the Police Activities League? We had some of those things in certain neighborhoods or whatnot, where it was organized flag football, organized boxing, organized basketball, organized sports. Where again, it goes back to the neighborhoods and the cities really connected to, like, what was going on. We were way more connected 20, 30 years, and not even 20 years ago, going back maybe 30, 40 years ago versus the last couple decades in terms of that. So outside of spreading this, okay, this is the problem. This is why we don't have that. It's not going to happen until some of these people really understand that, look, when it's all said and done, if you don't look at what's going on over there in these neighborhoods, dealing with these people, with everything that you said, V, they're going to continue to be like, all right, collateral damage, this is what they got.
All right. I have a question because it pertaining back to Carmelo Anthony, and I do understand what we're saying. We do have legitimate concerns in our community, but I just don't think his profile met that standard because, from what the reporting says, he's a good kid. He came from a good family. He made good grades. He was not what we would consider a kid that needed help. He was a kid who was pretty much at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he overreacted from a potential threat. Some believe that, and I believe it. But we know, how can we square these two things together, or find some sort of common ground in understanding the situation he was in and what drove him to his actions? Because for him as an individual, that doesn't necessarily fall into the situation that we're explaining, but it is noteworthy.
Metcalf's death is tragic. He should still be here. Let's just make sure we keep it a buck.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
believe that. Carmelo Anthony is now collateral damage. Period. I believe
sad.
that.
I think that 2 kids doing something that went too far, and like I said, we made it became much bigger than what it should have been, even with that. And it's a lot of people and families, and a lot of people. It's a lot of collateral damage with this.
I know, Brandon,
much
you
more
brought
than
up.
the kid and the families.
I know, Brandon, you brought up Boys in the Hood. I'm also thinking Friday, when John Witherspoon Pops is like, sissy fighting. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
remember, use these, we live to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it wasn't a gun, but it was a knife. And I mean, so it's like,
John Witherspoon.
Like we all know that there's the weakling kid out there that's gonna get his ass beaten. Then you got to understand this. What happens to the weakling kid when he pull that knife, or whatever the case may be tomorrow? What ended up happening to him the next day at school?
Let's talk.
So you
Let's talk about
all that comes along with it before when we are making that decision. So you could either be too scared to pull that damn knife and not use it, or you be like, look, I better make an example of, or I'm gonna get this shit tomorrow. It's gonna even be worse tomorrow. Depending on who you pull a gun or a knife on, it could be way worse. Or you can send a message that goes, leave dude alone.
Yeah, but in this case, it was like,
the
he left him alone because he way gone. You know what I'm saying? And now, so that's the choice that he had to make too, by
and
having a knife on him.
Fellas, when do you all think it's best that I just walk away, because this is going to end bad for myself, him, whoever, whatever? When do you feel
when
like
somebody tells you got one more time to touch me?
It's a lot easier for us because we done been through a lot. Our minds, we're not thinking like these teenager kids. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. We are thinking like adults instead of like what kids would think. I would think as a kid that every kid thinks you have the right to defend yourself with whatever fuck it is you got, whether it be a knife, a gun, whatever. I would think that the kids think that, because I believe that the average person believes that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What like I said, there's rules to this. What are the rules? Because hell, most of us don't know the rules to getting pulled over. Can they make me get out of my car? I don't know. It seems that they can for whatever reason they want to. I'm thinking the law is probably in there somewhere that they can't. But I ain't seen a situation where they couldn't figure out a reason to get your ass out that car.
Technically, you don't have to. I was watching this law guy. He's on YouTube.
I've seen that too, but I've seen in every situation where they said that you don't have to. I've seen them have to, and I've seen where they didn't do it and they got in trouble for it. So I don't know.
Dude would do it like, you don't even have to answer questions. He's like, I'm not answering questions today. I said, I don't see no black people doing that. I'm not.
How that work out for everybody you seen do that shit? They all went to jail, right? Yeah, I don't know how that works then. They say you don't have to, but I've seen everybody that do it go to jail.
Well, that goes
okay. So we're talking like we're adults, right? But as kids, if you dial it back, and I feel like we as grown-ups, we've had, I don't want to say hella mentors, but we had outlets where we needed to go deal with what we dealt with. Some people kind of got caught up. Some people didn't. Some stayed, not necessarily on a straight and narrow. Some did. But we had clear choices. We had outlets to be able to still be here today to talk about it. But if you dial it back when y'all was kids, was there ever a time where you were like, you know what, I need to just move over here because it's too hot over there, or I'm gonna get got, or nothing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I was a kid, and I was in a bunch of fights growing up, and you had to pick and choose your battles. You had to know exactly how far you want to take something, because when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, you got one more time," that to me translates to either you're gonna go 100% in, or he's gonna go 100% in, and you don't know what's gonna come out of it. I've seen kids fight, had guns, then pull them. I've seen kids who had knives, then pull them. It just depends on the situation. And to be honest with you, it's hard to say what I would do if I had a one-on-one situation. Yeah, that's one thing. I would never pull a weapon out. But if I have two, three, four, and I've been threatened by six people at one time. I've been in the fights where it was 5 against 1. You know, so I kind of feel like in certain situations, like say for instance, if I was in school, like, and I got into a group fight, 5 guys, and I knew them, um, you know, even though it was an unfair fight, I didn't have to worry about them pulling a weapon on me because I knew that that was not their shorthand. But when it comes to a complete stranger who you don't know, who in an environment that you have no clue about, it can go either way. It can go either way
Mhm.
because this is not my neighborhood. These are not my street rules. This is not my set. So if I go in the wrong neighborhood and the guy says you got one more time, like like we got brothers that said that and they'll throw blows. We got brothers said that and pull a pump action behind a light pole from behind a light pole. You just don't know what you're gonna
Mhm.
get. So and my problem here is that when we think about how the law is applied, we already know that the law is unequal. So the thing is that we have to be aware that when we get in trouble, we're going to be under more scrutiny than the next person, which is one of the things that we probably grew up hearing, like, hey, if you do something, you're going to get a harsher punishment than they will. But I, I feel conflicted because we know that you can have like Kendra Johnson all of a sudden end up in a mat dead, and nobody knows nothing. The law does nothing. But then you can have a guy, you know, shoot black people in a church and then bomb Burger King. Make it make sense. You know,
Yeah.
I, we
Are
can't
we
change the
trying to
world,
litigate?
but
Are we trying to litigate tit for tat in the legal system, or is that what we
we're
really mad about?
we're
Or
not we're trying to highlight consistency or the lack
I agree.
thereof,
I'm with that.
and
Or the
and,
lack
and
thereof.
that and, yep, and that's the problem. Why are we um 3 times more followed and stopped by police, but we're how shall we say this? We're 3 times followed, but other people are 3 times more likely to be committing crimes at the time they're pulled over. Why we sentenced 7 times harsher? Why do we have the prison to the school to prison pipeline? Why are we under service and under resourced? And then you have this whole entire narrative that the country builds against us, saying, well, we're bad because we're bad people, not because we're put into impoverished situations to where our our issues align more with poverty and other people's issues align more with choice. It's inconsistent. you know
Very inconsistent.
yes.
That's why V, you mentioned tit for tat. That's why growing up you can't. I mean, especially for us as black folks, you can't have that mentality because the moment we get got, we're done. We're part of the system. We are what I'm saying that
Yeah.
is hard for Anthony's case because he's now collateral damage. He got 35 years for this situation.
Right.
If it was the other way around, would that happen? We don't know based on what the
Yeah, we know he
situation
would have
is or
got 30.
looks like.
We know he wouldn't have got 35 years.
Right.
Exactly,
But
because we
what I'm
have the
saying,
data.
even for me growing up, like we all have specific choices in what we need to do or deal with. But I know growing up where I grew up and what I, endured or whatever, like I know for sure if I would have did something, said something, was a part of something, I knew it was going to be over for me because I've seen it over for so many other people.
Yeah.
So it's hard, like when you balance like what we're dealing with and what's real. Because I always say this, like I know for sure I got a one-way ticket to jail if my daughter's compromised. I know that for a fact.
My
And
kid.
anybody in my family or people I'm cool with and close to is in that same situation. I know I have a one-way ticket, and I don't care about that. That's premeditated. I already know what's going down. But when you get hit with a situation where it's like, you know what? I don't know that, like you said, BMO. I don't know this person, so I don't know what the outcome's going to wind up being. So then I'm forced with a choice: am I going to survive, or am I going to try to get
I'm
away
choosing
out of
me
this
every
situation
time.
that is?
I'm choosing me
Yeah.
every time.
That's right.
And just got to deal with the
As he should,
consequences. You know what I'm saying? But it's messed up when you got to go, damn, well, they did try to pull a gun on me. And shit, am I going to go to jail? Because I'm not going to be honest. I ain't sticking
right,
around to find out if they finna be fair.
right,
I ain't. I don't give a damn what shit. Motherfucking
right.
kick this door in right now and I can plug his ass, nigga. I'm finna wrap this motherfucking show up and get up out of here, nigga. I'm not finna sit around and see whether or not they gonna have to hunt me down. Why'd you run? I don't trust y'all. I don't trust y'all. Hell yeah, I ran. Yes. Kicked in my door, I let it, knocked his ass down, and I was not finna see if y'all was finna come in here and shoot me or take me and sit me in jail. No, I wasn't. I'm finna spend all my free time on me. Fuck that. I'm not finna see. I'm straight up. I'm not sticking around to see. I even said, and I hate to say it, dude. If I would you, if you was driving on a dark ass street somewhere in the middle of nowhere and see a white woman dying on the side of the road, you stopping?
No,
Hell no.
no.
And I feel ashamed to say that. If it was a black woman, maybe. Maybe.
But
you know
no,
what I'm saying? I'm probably not gonna fuck with that.
Hey, these days, it's hard to mess with anybody. I don't care what color, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I would love to be able to help. Of course, I would help on a dark road somewhere.
No,
where it's
like
just
how we know she dying? How we know it ain't a setup? You know what
I
I'm
ain't
saying?
even worried about that. I'm more worried about I could fuck around and be in prison or looked at as the main suspect.
Yeah.
She the survivor. The two other motherfuckers dead in the goddamn desert. Fuck that. I'm not.
You can
set you up
to
get jacked. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Do you guys remember the story where the black kid had a white grandma and he was pulled over by the police and they thought that he kidnapped. The police thought that he kidnapped his grandmother and then she had to say, "This is my grandson," because he was experiencing all types of harassment. And that's interesting to think about because if you're in the wrong situation, even if that person is family and she just happens to be non-black, like this brings up a story that my dad told me, and this happened like in the 80s. My father got pulled over with his girlfriend and the cop thought that she was a white woman, which she was not. And this was, I believe, in Jessup. And the minute the cop let my father go, he said this to him: "There are two things that die quick in this side of the state: snakes in the road and N-words with white women."
Boy, goddamn.
And you see it, and that's why I have such a deep view because of the biased culture that I come from. I know these things happen, and my father, who was dating this woman who appeared to be white, but she was not white. But for the police, the cop who has no experience in race, no experience, obviously, for obvious reasons, right? To tell him in the 80s now that there are two things that die quickly on this side of the state: snakes in the road and N-words of white woman. That just tells you the lack of consistency in our laws, and actually the discretion of power. Because he could have made up anything and said, "Hey, well, I saw him reach to the side of his console and shot him," and that would have been the end of that, there's no telling what could have happened to my father. So
I didn't even realize until later that, like, if you go back to the 80s and 90s, that interracial dating or marriage was still shunned amongst other races as well.
It just depends on
some black folks.
Depends on where you was at, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, there are pockets of the state. Me and Nefa were in Georgia where they didn't have an integrated prom until 2007, 2008.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There's still some people that's holding on to this bullshit, dude. I'm just like, dude,
right. And think about oh my God, Ahmaud Arbery, right? He got killed because he was just doing what everybody else was doing. But the point is that when they shot him, they gave those three gentlemen, I can't remember their names, every bit of grace that the law had to offer.
Yeah,
every bit of grace. They were not arrested.
Home that day.
They got to go home to their families when they were the obvious perpetrators. And again, we pass laws because there are just awful people who do not know how to stop being awful.
I'm
But
so
just
glad
because we
though
have
that
these laws. Go ahead.
I was just saying with Ahmaud Arbery, I'm so glad that case turned out how it should have. You know what I'm saying? Even though,
Right.
like I said, they got to go home and but they finally got their ass. They're like, no, I ain't getting away with this.
Right.
And even the dude that didn't even really do nothing, but he knew about it. He watched it.
It took pressure to do that because they wasn't even going to arrest these people until it was public outrage about it.
Nope.
Which is crazy. Like somebody got shot and killed. You get to go to jail if you're black every time for that. Every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's the other way around, you know what? Let me find out first before we make the arrest. And they do it nice and neat. And in most cases, don't even like, oh no, we're not going to charge, or we're not going to, we would get the handcuffs and everything that comes with it, right? So it's just, again, like I said, choices that we all make, I feel like, has damning consequences if you make the wrong one. I don't know in whose eyes, but other people who deem that, what, here's our opportunity to take this man or this woman off the board. So let's do it.
Exactly.
And that's evident by a lot of stuff that goes on.
What's crazy to me is, and not to advocate for criminality, whatever, but it's funny how everybody believes that it ain't fair. But criminality equalizes shit. That's why people do it. You know what I'm saying? If because like I said, we got a social construct that says that you got to earn eating every day. You have to put in some labor to eat every day. Says who? Says who? Right. Name another creature on the planet. There's millions of creatures on this planet. No other creature except us does that.
Right.
It's interesting that you say that because, I used to think that, there was always a middle ground somewhere. It's either or. Somewhere in the middle is probably where we're at or something like that. But I don't believe that anymore based on what you just said, V, because, criminals comes in every single phase or shape or whatever, even color, high up, down below, everything that you could think of. And again, I really start advocating that we as people,
motivation is always money, because there's plenty of money out there to be used, and somebody says you can't have it, so we figured out how to get a little bit of it, and you get mad and say you shouldn't did that, even when you're doing the same shit as them.
But see, that's it. That's it right there. They don't want you to do what they're doing. The dirt that I'm doing right now, I don't want you to do it. I don't want you to do it because you're gonna fuck
every
up
black
my
person
shit.
you gonna meet. I hate a drug dealer. You're just destroying your community. But he on opioids himself. He get prescribed by his doctor.
Right.
He drink alcohol himself. Prescribed that he can easily go get. And we know for a fact alcohol do more damage than a lot of shit that's illegal. But that's okay because it's okay.
Shit, our food.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then that was illegal until they figured out that we can still beat y'all at that because we're gonna make everybody get a license. Yep. You just can't sell alcohol. Alcohol is legal as fuck. Try to sell that shit out your house. Try to sell that shit out the house and watch how quickly. That's the reason why a lot of us can't, when we got clubs and shit like that, that be the reason why we can't open the club. You don't have a liquor fucking license because they only give out so many, and so some of them get grandfathered in. Some of these people are working off somebody that's sitting at home getting a quarter or probably about 50% of the money, and they just going, "Well, I got the license I got from my granddaddy 62 years ago, and half of you niggas is every adventure y'all throw, you come to me, and I take 50%."
Hey, Bimo, do I really see this question that was put out there on? Are you serious?
Yeah. I blocked his ass. I ain't got no time for that shit. I ain't got no time for that shit.
Was that our first live question? You gotta go like that.
Bruh.
Yeah. Sometimes Twitch can be a jungle of foolishness.
But I ain't even on that, but just what I know of it, a bunch of kids, and just what I hear about it. Hell, just what I know about that, the fact that it's a platform to use for like what is it? Video games and shit. Man, the racism you hear on video games, I usually just turn the shit off.
Twitch.
I mean, but you know what? Hey, Bimo, since you put it up there, throw that question out there, man. It's fine, and we can move on after we answer the question. I mean, Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Who cares?
What are they talking about? Sarah
Can
J?
y'all discuss who had a better peak, Sarah J or Victoria Cakes?
I don't know who either one of them people are.
After my time,
you ain't seen Sarah J before, V?
It don't sound familiar.
We about to Google some shit.
All right, I'm gonna block him. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
I don't know who Sarah J is. I may be too seasoned for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm Sunday dinner. This is Friday night pizza. You know.
Yeah, I never heard of Victoria Cakes. I've seen Sarah J. If you see her, you just want to skip past, move on. But I've never seen Victoria Cakes.
I'm looking at Sarah J right now. Let me just Google Sarah J.
You're gonna probably skip that though. Just saying, BMO.
Oh,
just saying.
Yeah, let me just go here. I'm curious now because I'm old. All right, look.
And wipe that from your phones after you're done.
I'm on my. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's a different discussion for a different day. That ain't what we came here for right now, guys.
Exactly.
Look. Enter back button.
Friday night pizza. You said it right.
Exactly. This ain't the after hours.
right. Exactly.
Not yet anyway.
2008 shit.
Yeah. Hey, we had no filter back then, so hey, everybody free for all. If you want to ask anything, ask it. We'll keep it true. I ain't seen it. I seen it. I don't like it.
And I had a feeling what this was about just by their username.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, say less.
Right. Yep.
Say less.
Say less. We're not gonna have these discussions when it's still daylight outside. I mean, who will have these discussions when it's still daylight outside? Is being
honest. I ain't finna have this discussion with a bunch of dudes. Period. And discussion like this is weird to me. So I ain't weird enough.
All the ashy dudes in the world is not gonna have me have a collaboration about comments about this.
All right, moving on, man. Let's
all kinds of ash popping up right now.
Let's get into some conspiracy type stuff now.
All right. What you got?
Elon Musk. Now it's said with him doing the whole IPO thing that he is supposed to be the first trillionaire or something like that.
Yep. I heard about that today.
And it has been alleged that a certain person back in like the 1950s, I believe, allegedly, you can say predicted or basically orchestrated that a guy named Elon Musk was gonna have like a space type, influence and take people to Mars. I think it was named
back in the 1950s.
Back in the 1950s, yeah, his name was Werner von Braun.
What else is he known for?
Is he still alive?
He was a scientist that was I think he was in conjunction with
scientists.
Yep. And see,
I'd say that sounds very familiar.
And if you notice, and I was listening to a news station, what was it, earlier or yesterday, and they had one of them scientists on there talking about this whole thing and whatever. And of course, he sounded like he was German. And that after the war, we took all of the top scientists from Germany, the Nazi scientists, and they're the ones that run NASA, dude. Well, and they got exonerated for all the war crimes and everything.
Yeah, it was a split between us and Russia, and we took the scientists from Germany. Yep, that's true. That dude Oppenheimer was one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so my thing is like, okay, how they say predicted, but to me, a lot of this stuff predict it? How do you predict something like that?
Because it's families.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So to
the
me,
Musk family was definitely involved in the. They were pro-Nazi then. They were trying to get South Africa in the war on the side of the Nazis.
Yep.
So to
So
me, that's not
we're just dealing
that's
with
not a
families.
prediction. That's an orchestration, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing though. A lot of all right, first off, before I even say this, dude Musk being the first noted trillionaire ever is weird to even say because I feel like a lot of these people are hoarding money anyways. Again, it's rob from the poor, give to the rich. But deeper than that, it's really a generational thing where, I don't know if we'll, as Black people, ever say, multiple millionaire, billionaire, whatever types or whatever. There's a lot of athletes running around.
Why would you think that?
I don't think that we will have the capacity to be able to do that under the thumb of these other white
But we got
people
a whole
because
continent that belongs to us, and it's not going to stay under the tutelage of other people. Like I've been saying, I believe in the next 40, 50 years, you're going to see a drastic change in Africa. Drastic.
I will agree to that because right now Africa has the youngest population in the world, and even
And
corporate
tons of
analysts
natural
said that tons of natural resources, and there's a lot of people and corporations investing in Africa. China's investing in Africa. Bill Gates is investing in Africa. The main thing is 10 years from now when the average American may be 40, right? Their average African is a continent compared to a country, of course, will be maybe 25, 26 years old. So as far as human capital is concerned, Africa is where every major country and corporation is looking at right now because
Yeah.
they
So
have the
with
youth.
so that doesn't raise a red flag that. So what happens when everybody invests and infiltrates all these different types.
well, see that's where I'm coming from though. Like I feel like this, like as much resources as other places have, different countries, stuff like that or whatnot. Uh, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I just also feel like I don't see a structure yet in terms of us changing the narrative on generational wealth. I don't. I see other people stealing. I see other people stealing from us, which they've done throughout multiple decades, centuries, or whatnot. They've always taken our either our resources, our ideas, everything, and flipped it so then they can have generational wealth and pour into themselves and their generation for hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't see us having that. I hope I'm wrong.
I think that we can because first off, like I said, it's massive. It's like 5 times the size of the United States. So even they don't even have the population to populate the way we could, and it's going to grow. It's certain things that can grow too fast. Like a lot of these countries are being raped so bad that I'm talking about. All I got to do is turn on the water. The water was dripping. They over there licking the faucet, and it's just a drip. You know what I'm saying? So all they got to do is turn on the faucet, and it's going to be so much that you can't even stop. Because some of these places, a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, the reason why they was able to grow it so fast because their population is not like you think. You might go to Qatar, and their biggest city might be 2 million people. So you got that much wealth coming through, and it's 2 million people in the largest city. You could do a whole lot of stuff really fast. And that's all it is. Like I said, I believe that we think that we're so far ahead of everybody else. I don't believe that. Now, infrastructurally, we probably are, but intellect can be caught up quickly. You can have a whole generation of doctors in 10 years. In 10 years, you can mandate, okay, free college for everybody that is qualified to go to college. And if your SATs or ACTs say that you qualify to have the intellect to be a doctor, that's free. We putting y'all through school, state mandated. You know what I'm saying? So you could actually change that and actually have functioning doctors within 10 to 15 years. Easy. That's something that's doable.
I agree.
Now, you can't probably get technologies that are just on the fringe. Like now, the nuclear technology is gonna be a little tougher because it's tougher to deal with. You're so far behind That might take a little while, but agriculture, engineering, far as building buildings and shit like that, you can catch up that quick. That's you seen China do it. In our grandparents' lifetime, China was dirt poor. And now you see what they're able to do in the generation. All you got to do is invest in the people. Like you'll see now where you'll see, well, the schools here aren't this, that, and that's why they have this charter school over here. If you got a school in your state that is functioning at a high level, it should be damn near illegal for it not to be implemented in the rest of the state. If you got a system, this last charter school that was implemented in all the rest of the schools immediately.
Was China ever poor?
Yes.
Yes.
Very.
Yes. Yes.
Very.
So how did they rise from the ranks of?
They built industry, so they started using they closed off to the world and they dealt with just themselves. For a long time, China was closed off. They didn't deal with the world. All they did was we got to grow food for ourselves. Do you know that like in Africa, 85% of all their goods is imported? 85%. That's continent wide.
You just said something that's important. They poured into themselves. They were like, you know what? Fuck everybody else.
Who we get
focus on that. But see, this is our problem though. We allow everybody to come on in and just.
It ain't allowed. You ain't got no choice. It's a gun to your head. It's a gun to your head.
I get you.
So, like, I mean, yeah, of course they have a different thumb on it, but you got to have the people to stand by each other. You know what I'm saying? And then I think the biggest difference, reason why we are so far behind, is unlike China. China, I don't know how many different dialects and languages they have. They probably don't have that many, but I would bet that most Chinese could speak to each other. Most Africans can't speak to each other. That's the biggest. The big thing is we can't speak to them. They can't speak to us, and that's the barrier. That's the biggest barrier we have is we don't have a common language. If we had a common language nationwide, it's not hard to fucking turn a lot of black people to go fuck everybody else. Just fuck with us, even though we don't trust. A lot of us don't trust each other, but you can easily get by that because it's enough good people that's doing good business that's gonna make you stop thinking like that. If you always the shiesty motherfucker that's always trying to shice somebody too, I find that everybody that's like that tend to find it hard to deal with other people. Always trying to find a way to not give somebody else some just due. It's like we have the argument about paying people, bruh. If it's money being made, ain't nobody going for not getting none.
Right. That's why, like you said, it's slowed down because a lot of people are like that. Shiesty versus shiesty equals more shiesty, and it's been a problem. But when you get other people,
once we realize it's more than enough for everybody, you're gonna stop thinking like that. Once you get a few people to go, I don't really care, man. Watch how I eat anyway. This is the bottom. If we all do this, this is the bottom. We all eat right.
That's what it takes. But it's hard for people to do. I mean, we see it in
people that actually do it need to continue to do it and quit making fucking complaints because they ain't on the next level also. Because once we get we'll get somewhere now, and one of us is gonna go around this motherfucker acting like he had mad bitches before this shit happened. Nigga, come on, somebody gonna do that because they gonna want to live the life that they've always wanted to live, that they get a chance to live, and you go through that. I think that most of us go through that. Go through that. Just come back. Fuck.
Right. Well, I think in our lifetime, I think we've
seen what we're supposed to do.
I think we've seen it to the point where, you know what, we have exercised that right to, you know what, we leveled up here. So, you know, when we leveled up, we look at things a little
life
different.
Because you've been told your whole life you couldn't, and it ain't enough when it's plenty.
But then it takes that situation where, you know what, you got to come back down to real time where it's just kind of like, you know what, this ain't shit. I would rather level up with the people who's really committed to doing that. So then everybody could stay locked in. But then there's the problem. We don't have enough. And when are we going to get to that stage? I hope I see it in my lifetime
because
letting
them play the game with us. One of them will get $1 million deal and somebody got to have 500,000 that's for us.
Come on.
And that's going to fuck the whole thing up once you do that. It's 4 of us. Do the math. It's real simple. To make this fair and easy, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna be a nigga on the show, though, nigga. It's gonna be one of them motherfuckers.
That's envy and jealousy to the point where it's just kind of like, all right,
fuck them and continue to go on.
Yeah,
one monkey don't stop no show. The rest of us continue on. And if it break the whole group, it should be 4 people to start a whole motherfucking new.
Right.
Let's keep on doing it. Instead, what we'll do is we'll go on the next 15 podcasts killing each other. Instead, be like,
Yeah,
man,
I
that's
want.
cool. Nigga, it didn't work out, but I'm doing my thing over here. More power to him. And should I even go on this show? Fuck it. This was about money, not personal.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree it's
But
about
we
money.
can't do that. Like I said, in the entertainment business, that's the reason why I steered away from it. Because
Hey, real quick, BMO, before you say something, it is somewhat about money, but it's also about just, especially nowadays with these people's mentality, it's like, you know what? I want to be the first to be seen. I want to be the first, like, I want to be that guy or girl to be in that
and I'm okay
spotlight
with that.
because,
But you can still get it without
but
fucking over
see,
your friends. But the powers
I
that be, when
agree.
they come to offer and they know that I could split y'all up and make more money off the four of y'all than the one.
Yep.
We got to see that. It's easy. I make more money if I split you four up and make y'all all go in your own way and put my fingers in all four of y'all asses instead of letting this
Hey.
one fucking go over here and they keep arguing and shit going, no, we ain't let you do that. No, we ain't let you do that.
Hey.
He gonna get tired of fucking with us. He gonna
Right.
See that music? See, hey V, that shit reminds me of like, let's just go music wise, right? That shit reminds me of like New Edition, Jackson 5, Supreme.
every
Like they
last
put it in the head of every lead singer and say, "You are that person.
every last
You need to go
it's
solo.
by
Go
design because they're
solo."
gonna come to him and go, you don't need them. And he don't.
Nah,
But you don't have no
go
addiction without
solo.
them.
You gonna be a star.
And he
Go
might be
solo.
true, but you still could have been with New Edition, still making the albums. Who says you can't do both?
Facts.
But they
Facts.
make you make a choice.
Yep.
Why you got to make a
Gotta
choice?
go
It's to
solo.
divide you. And with this money, with
Yep.
in that entertainment, it's so much in there. Motherfuckers is cutthroat as fuck. When
Yep.
all we got to do is stay down, and we still gonna get the bread.
You know, they were just talking about Michael Jackson, or basically his estate, I guess, just made like $1 billion or whatever last year or something like that, or this year or whatever, because of that. I don't know what case with the movie and all the other stuff going on. And I was like, it just brought me back to the, the whole entertainment, especially with these record labels. They make more money off the artists when they dead.
The man been dead, and they still making millions. So why are we arguing about money when these people are alive? Look how much money has been made when they dead.
Right.
V, the Jackson family sold the rights to Michael's music, so they fully don't own all of his shit.
Well, they don't control They don't control this estate. It's controlled by two other people outside the Jackson family, for one.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't have the say on everything and anything, because it goes to these two gatekeepers. I believe one is a white guy, one is a black guy, and they manage everything when it comes to their estate. So
I want to know the background. How long was this white boy around when these motherfuckers was living in one bedroom goddamn house with 13 motherfucking kids and shit in Indianapolis?
But he put it in his trust, so he decided that he wanted it that way.
White dude that came along in their 30s that's fucking running everything.
And therein lies the problem. Like, it's there. You created this. You built up a brand, but then you're willing to just go sell it off for what, 300 million, 400 million or whatever, thinking that, you know what, it's all good. But then again, here lies the other people you mentioned, the white guy and the other black person, to be like, yo, y'all can keep that little 300 million, 400 million. We got billions over here, and we're going to continue to get billions because this is the game they play. They play that. It's just like, we were talking, the other week or whatever about BET and the fact that the black guy sold BET to somebody else. They brought in some other black people to be like, sit in the board and shit like that, to be able to go over BET and shit like that. Why? You sold BET. You're going to literally get puppets to be able to just kind of be on the board, trying to be able to add more black to it. And that doesn't make any sense.
That watch BET down to this day.
Hey,
it's hard. You try to watch the movies, man. They got so many damn commercials on damn BET, bro. I'm like, come on, man.
Bro, I ain't watched it. I can't even tell you the last time I tuned into BET. It's probably been a decade.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the stuff that was kept, that was ours, that could have been generational, that could have been passed on and passed on and passed on and passed on, is being sold for like pennies. While later on, these people are just kind of like getting millions. And then some of our folks, and like I said, the BET board of people was like Latifah, LL, and maybe another person or some shit like that. whatever it is, all they're doing is just trying to add color to something
And
that
look
just
what
went
every
white
celebrity
like
do when they get
time
mad.
ago.
When they do something and fuck up, it's the broke people that's saying it. Oh, well, you broke motherfuckers don't even understand. Damn, it's only the broke motherfuckers that's doing this shit. You just took an online backlash for some shit you said, but it's the broke motherfuckers that you gonna address. What about the motherfuckers that make more money than you that don't agree with what you just did and said?
Right.
That's the first thing we quick to step on whoever the fuck. Which one of you niggas I step on? I'm finna step on you. Before to get them off of me, I'm finna step on you. And we gotta stop that shit, man. We gotta stop that shit. I see so many people, man, that be talking politics on online and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, come on, man. I remember when you used to do all kinds of shit, bro. You finally found something that worked out. All of a sudden, you the good Samaritan, and now you golf and all this other shit. Now, come on, my nigga. You still ain't shit to everybody in your family. Don't now one of them little badass youngsters you got in your family call you pick up. None of them. But they online going, y'all some haters. Nigga.
I just tend to stay away from the type of people.
Cracked off, and now you a reformed Christian. Fuck out of here, man.
I think I want to circle back to what you're talking about systemic education, because there's a few facts that were relevant to me that certain states were talking about, like Mississippi. Mississippi had one of the most segregated school systems in the history of America. They decided to invest in the underprivileged systems, or better yet, more equally spread out the money towards education, and they went down from the bottom 3 to damn near the top 25 in a matter of a few years. And I think with that being said, is I don't know who was talking about resources, but when you apply the resource, I think it was UV, but when resources are properly applied, you can see how people benefit from those resources. Going back to generational wealth, before we how shall we say, when people had to make the argument that we need to pull ourselves by our bootstraps, we did. We had over 50 black cities that had thriving black districts. We had our own economies locally, and they burnt it all down. They burned them down, right? Exactly. So imagine you as being an African American today to say, hey, I want to go somewhere where I can be successful. We would have had at least 50 choices of places to live where we could be successful by the case of environment that would help propel our due diligence and our hard work and our efforts, because we have that support system. But they get it, they chop us off at the head. You go to the highway system. They purposely ran highways through black business districts like Sweet Auburn, 8th Street, I believe in Memphis. Florida, is it called like Little Bahamas or Barbados or whatever. They ran highways through Detroit, Chicago, spots in California, all to destroy our infrastructure, all to take away all of our upward mobility.
You can see this right now. Most of your spaghetti bowls and your industrial areas, that's where you find the black neighborhoods.
Exactly. Even like in Atlanta, like do people know why 75 and 85 merge into one road down the center perimeter? Because they decided to run the highway through the Sweet Auburn district, and then they lobbied to make sure that these highways did not run through their neighborhoods. So I believe that us as our people, we have a level of obligation that we have to take care of, but we have to acknowledge that they chop every opportunity away from us at the head, and then we're left to argue amongst ourselves as to why we can't have
we become great individualists. That's what we're doing. We're becoming really good as individuals.
That part.
Well, since I can do it, you all can do it. No, they picking and choosing which one of you weak motherfuckers they're gonna allow to get all the way to the top, because they know you selling us out once you get there. They know you ain't finna pass it back down none. They know you not about to give nobody that it'll give you a run for your money. Any opportunity. Even when we do shit with music, we'll get people well, yeah, I'm gonna give you a record label, but it's under my label. No, give me mine. I don't need shit
Exactly.
under you. Give
Right.
me mine so I can do what I do. I don't need to be under you, Death Row. Fuck. But that's
But okay, V. I say that I get you where you coming from, but it's hard to give something to somebody unless they prove it. Like you know
how
how
do you
in the
prove it if they
NFL or
never
in
had it?
places you gotta prove it.
How do you prove something you never
Huh?
had?
Right, that's what I'm saying. So how can you get a
You just got to
label?
do it, just like a school teacher. School teachers give as much
But
education as she can, and whoever grab it and go, grab it and go. I just want to see y'all win. All my students. I want all my students to win.
okay, that's fair. But if you don't have the, let's just you added Death Row, so let's just go there with Death Row. So Death Row, and let's go there with Machiavelli Records. Let's go. All right, you know what? Machiavelli Records is going to be under Death Row, and you're going to be able to do X, Y, Z. What I would do if I was running Death Row, look, you don't have the resources yet, but I'm gonna set you up for success. I'm gonna let you build under this umbrella. We're gonna split what we gotta split. When you able and you're ready to take off, you can go ahead and break that off into whatever distributor.
Name a white company that you know started off like that. Well, I could think of Canes. Canes came from Guthrie's. Guthrie's, the dude worked there. It ain't Guthrie's Junior Canes. It's fucking Guthrie's and Canes. But the dude who started Canes worked under the dude who started Guthrie's. And don't nobody, y'all probably don't even know who the fuck Guthrie is, huh? Probably
I've
don't
heard.
Yeah, but Raising Canes, everybody fucking know. He used to work with a dude, and they had a chicken spot called Guthrie's. He walked away and started his own shit. It ain't under fucking Guthrie's. That's all I'm saying. Get
Was
a man.
Guthrie's was it like blue and gray?
Yeah, Guthrie's actually was black owned.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like, was their color like blue and gray?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Logo. I think I heard of Guthrie before.
Yeah, but Guthrie's was Canes before Canes. But he worked with the Canes.
That I get.
And like I said,
because
it's a lot
just
of
like
places.
you,
You think whoever started Buffalo Wild Wings might have worked with somebody that used to sell some fucking wings. He don't.
Well, that's the same thing with what's old boy with Microsoft or whatever. Like they was working inside of Apple or whatever, and then he took
IBM.
off and did.
Yeah, Steve Jobs.
IBM, there you go.
Yeah, and the rumor is that Steve Jobs took Windows and away from IBM and started himself, or the concept, or he built the concept of Windows while he was working for IBM. I think that'd be more accurate, And
that's correct. That's correct. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like somebody was under that tutelage to be able to level off and do it like that. But in a record label term, some people may not have the capital to be able to do that. They may just be, they may not have that yet.
That's what investments are for. But you don't own it. That's what we could do that. We could just as easily do that. But nah, I don't want you to go nowhere. And I want everybody to know that I'm the one that taught you. That arrogance.
See, that's control then. That's control from the person who wants you to stay under there instead of like seeing, what, I'm going to give you the capital so you can grow and do what you got to do. Use what you got. But that's the problem.
Stay on music. Exactly. How many of the motherfuckers, the dude with the money don't have the talent? Right? 90% of the time, the dude with the talent don't have the talent. And there's going to be a fight with the talent about what he needs to be the talent that everybody believes he could be. He's going to have a fight with the main dude to go, no, I think you should wear a red sparkly jacket.
Right.
Will this be the same?
Like he wants to because he's a fucking talent.
But it's fair.
You don't wear red sparkly and want to say, well, I'm the one who made it wear the red sparkly one. We at war about this.
That's fair. Because you look at what it is now, like we're going back and forth about it. Like none of these labels are like functional or active to the point where it's
every
a generational.
Last one of them got a fucking problem with somebody going, he either didn't pay me or I give my just due. Every last one, every group you can think of in the fucking music industry broke up because one of the motherfuckers felt like he wrote more to the song than the other dude who wrote the hook.
Yeah.
Every last one. Every last one.
I think about this. Like, what about Scooter Braun and Taylor Swift? Basically, he brought out Taylor's catalog, and there was a big hoopla about it. And the Scooter was like, "I don't know this Taylor. We only met her once, but you did, I guess, what she considered dirty business, and took all her shit." So, is this also indicative of how they ran business, or how the industry is like inherently that way, and it got multiplied when we came into it? Like, how does it flow more or less?
Here's what Taylor Swift did though. He may have bought that catalog, but Taylor Swift re-recorded it under her
Yep.
situation, so she can be able to have her own stuff
Right.
herself.
She was
That's
smart.
So she had to find a she had a backdoor way to be able to do that. Like who did it recently? Ashanti did it. Like they re-recorded everything, put it and took it under their umbrella so they can have that old stuff or whatever.
right.
But I mean, we all know record labels and the music industries is a bunch of sharks anyways. Nobody don't own their shit. Everybody knows what is it? Salt and Pepper tried to get their masters back after 35 years.
Mhm.
They appealed and lost the appeal because why? It was their entire catalog, their brand was owned by Herbie Lovebug.
Right.
He owns all of that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta find a way to finesse the situation now.
Yeah.
Like the Whispers recently, when I interviewed the Whispers, they had to re-record their music to keep their music.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is bad shit because they don't own that shit anymore. Their main catalog and everything that you see right now is owned by somebody else.
I remember that.
So they gotta
I remember that.
Luther
I remember
Campbell
that.
got his catalog back.
Contracts like that shouldn't even be legal. Clearly, the artist wrote or did have to. You can't have more ownership than a fucking. To me, you shouldn't even be able to have more ownership than artists.
Mhm.
There should
There's
be a
no way
cap with that. Like you
35
can't
years.
own more than the fucking artist unless they sell it off.
You can't even split. And I get it. If you did a lot of work within there, you use their studios, this, that, and the other, whatever.
resources.
Even if they take the high end of the 60-40 or whatever. But you can't say you own 100% of some shit like that when you never recorded it, you never sung it, or you never rapped it, or you never did all that other shit. That don't make no sense.
That's right. It don't. I agree.
And that's the reason why you see so many breakups and so much turmoil in that fucking shit. And these people die, and somebody else that you don't even fucking remember his name is filthy rich off that one person.
Yep.
Right.
Who owns
right.
Whitney Houston music right now? Who owns it?
I don't know.
Is it Clive?
Damn right.
Mm-mm-mm.
Because she has nobody in her estate that can literally rally and say, "Hey, you know what? Who's it going to be passed on?"
And that's
to?
crazy that your family wouldn't be able to. You still making money off something that this person's family member is like. It's a lot of shit that just don't make no sense. But I think that I believe that the so-called good guys, the courts are in cahoots with criminal organizations to allow the music business.
100%.
I believe that the entertainment business has and always will be ran by criminal elements.
100%.
So I don't think where they just went, they just got deeper into the music business, and I think that they allow that fuckery to go on there because you get to rape other cultures. Ain't nobody do it. Like I said, I think that they do it to white folks too. They just get a bigger piece of the pie.
That's why you don't hear them
getting
complain.
fucked over like where they damn near broke. That's the reason why you see these motherfuckers from Jackass still got bread. Like, come on, bro. Seriously?
Yeah, and
They still got
the white
bread.
folks, the white folks, the ones who still, they can still go do shows, or even you don't hear them say shit about getting screwed over because they do get a piece of it.
Still got bread. Britney Spears. She got more bread. The average one of them probably got more bread than the average motherfucker that's still making music, still making hits. So they just get a bigger piece of the pie to where they're good for the rest of their life. When we dealing with stuff that should be setting people up for the rest of their natural born life. And it's not. And they over there hustling their ass off for a few millions when somebody behind the scenes ain't even gonna bother to get another artist. Ain't even gonna bother to find another Madonna. Nigga, I found Madonna. Yeah. I'm good for me and my children good for the rest of our natural born lives. Madonna might not be.
But see that I started thinking about this. Like I recently watched that Michael movie, and I started thinking about just talent, not just talent, but just how you cultivate, especially nowadays. Like okay, especially back then too. But now I just feel like there's not enough talented people. There is some talented people, but there's just not enough. Not like it was when we grew up. Like we had the opportunity to be able to experience it live. Now everything is just really generic.
Right.
It's not as
they just might be a podcaster instead of a singer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what? Go ahead, B. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
But one thing that I realized, I was talking with my wife a while ago, is that a generation ago, right, talent was not linked with looks, right? If you could sing, you could sing. and that's what you were known for. You know, like if you look at all the artists in the 70s, the 60s, the 80s, you know, they were famous because of their musical talent. Now, if you have talent, you got to have a face, you got to have a body, you got to have a persona to go with it, you know, and I believe that's one of the key reasons
These
why the
artists are
industry,
creatable.
yeah,
They're
they were
creative.
created. They were not cultivated. They were created.
Right.
Yeah.
As talented as all these people have been, especially in the past or whatnot, because we didn't. I mean, let's keep it real. Like, I mean, when Latifah and Light and them came out, like, did we love the way they look, or did we love the lyrics they were spitting? Right? Like, I just thought they were talented, mad talented, as far as female MCs and shit like that. But
Exactly.
also, I was thinking about just some of these other people who build up other these other people's. I was on Todd Bridges' thing, and I was thinking about Dana Plato and some of these people, like, I mean, a lot of these people, when they get in here, and I thought she was mad talented for being a young actress and shit like that. Todd Bridges too, for as a matter of fact, young growing up, and then they just got caught up in the mix of all these drugs and all these different things they saw outside of the game they was in. And I started thinking, like, did they get set up to the point where they were introduced and forced this stuff, so then they can kind of fall off the cliff? You know what I mean? Like, it got to that point because no, like, you got to go back and look at like his documentary or whatever. But Todd Bridges was, he was introduced to sex, drugs, everything, like before the age of 12 or some shit like that in the business, right? So
Right.
to me, you just got to see who's in cahoots, and then at the end of the day, they spiral off and they die, or they just get so strung out that it's just their whole career just went to crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
I
crazy how shit
I think when you
happens.
look at all these instances of people getting hooked on drugs, I think the drugs in the entertainment industry is a device for control. Basically,
Yep.
they put them in the industry, they groom them with drugs and all these beautiful trinkets, and then they milk them dry. And as soon as
Yep.
they destroy themselves, or they, in my opinion, they are being pushed to destroy themselves, then they can say, "Well, no fault here,"
I agree.
whatever happens, happens, and then
On
they
to the
move
next.
on to the next mark, wash, rinse, repeat. And,
Yep.
and that's the opportunist culture, the corporate culture, where profits go above people. And instead of them thinking like we can cultivate this actor, actress, singer to be productive for 2, 3, 4, 5 decades. Nah, let's just milk them for 5 or 10 years and then just throw them off to the side once
And I
they
think that,
get used for ODing.
and I think the reason for that, I think that artists use a different part of the brain. I think that that's the reason why you don't usually get great businessmen that are good artists, and vice versa. They're two different breeds of people. And I think that the business minded people do prey on the artists. And I hate to say it because I've rarely have I met an artist that I was like, this motherfucker is brilliant other than music. It's usually music,
Vertical
some type
education.
of art that they're brilliant at.
Right, right.
That's because most of them come in just they just want to be artists. They don't want to be businessmen or women. They just want to be that, and they want to thrive being that. They never thought that what, I got to multitask, because they put a lot of trust in people. What, my agent's got this, or my manager's got this, and they put a lot of trust in a lot of those people, and then clearly they've been let down because they've been heavily infiltrated. You go through the list of every. I'm talking about entertainer, actor, musician, whatever. Somebody died, or somebody OD'd, or somebody got heavily hooked on something, and down goes their career,
That's
down
right.
goes their money, and everything
Hmm.
else that comes with it. Why? Because they were put in a position like that. Music industry, a lot of folks, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do that. Even the Supremes back in the day, Diana Ross was just so strung out, doing what she was doing and all this other shit. Like Marvin Gaye, he had issues, like he had mental issues as well, but again, drugs, different types of things that railroaded a lot of people's lives and
Hmm.
careers and shit like that. But a lot of these people made hella money off of their success and the fact that they were not in full, I'm a business person too. So I know this business part. A lot of people just depended too much on those people.
On those
Right.
people, and that's how they get taken
I think
advantage of. Go ahead,
I
V.
think that
You got it.
I think that everybody's dead on what it is. I think that it's certain type of people that prey on a different type of people, and I think
Yep.
and then if you look at it, powerful people have always used talented people to manipulate the shit out of the rest of the people.
Yeah. Yep.
Gladiators,
Those
Yeah.
gladiators were the rock stars of their era, and the richest people in the land associated themselves with them and love to be the ones that dictate how those people behave and act and what they do.
Yep.
That's how they
Remember when
almost substantiate their power.
remember we were locked in and super tight with Cherry and shit like that, and she used to tell us that, you know what, only reason why I stayed out of that kind of life was the fact that my mama just told me I can't go to these parties when she was hella young during her younger days.
Right.
Like, I can't go there. I can't mix with this person, that person, that person. Like, she put us up on game as far as what she was able to do to offset whatever it was. Like, all she wanted to do, especially when she got to be a teen, was to go to these parties and do this, this, and this. And her mom was like, "Nope, you ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
Your ass is gonna stay right here at the house."
You don't need that
Yeah, so
exposure influence.
she had a good one, but then you got some of those, child actors and artists. Their parents is throwing them to the wolves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're trying.
Yeah.
It's a meal ticket to them.
For their own best interest.
Yeah. Go let them fill you up your booty and do all kind of stuff, man. Yeah. You'll be all
We're
right.
gonna get you that
Any
deal.
one of those ladies,
When you get the check,
one
you'll
of
be all
those
right.
ladies that led any one of those little girls that allowed their daughters to go upstairs to Cosby's hotel needs to be studied. Just saying.
Thoroughly and intensely. And make new laws to punish the motherfuckers like hell to the now. If anybody take any of my child upstairs, like, yeah, I'm gonna take your daughter upstairs or your son, you know what? You
Right.
be
You
prepared.
ain't
You need
spending
to
the
be
night
breathing.
over here. It's a grown ass man. He gonna spend the night. The fuck he is.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's just true. And a lot of people will see their children as opportunities and just let them do whatever because it's a way to the bag. From what I remember, like it was Emmanuel Lewis. His parents spent most of his money. I think the girl that played on iCarly, she separated herself from her mother because her mother happened to be, from her claims, an opportunistic woman.
Oh, Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah, Jeanette McCurdy. And the list goes on and on. Where these parents just use their kids for a revenue stream, and they don't care what type of shit they get into. Oh well, just like you think about PDF files and people in the church or something like that, where they just ignore these issues because of some sort of thing that they can benefit from, right? Don't worry about that. Don't let the pastor, don't bother the pastor, don't bother this person because they got money or they're prominent or whatever. Like look at Harvey Weinstein. What's his name?
I'm glad you brought that up, BMO, because I was talking to one of our military friends. He took me and my son out to lunch with his sons yesterday. He might be listening, but he brought up a point that another of my old school homeboys brought up too, man. He was like, when you get that person, like I said, I grew up in the church and stuff like that, and religious and stuff like that. I think about it a whole different way now because I've been able to see people for who they are and go to different churches around the world and stuff like that. So, but anyway,
right.
He was like, dude, he said, I don't know what it is, but whenever, man, you get somebody, man, that just overly talk about God too much, man, I just can't trust them, man. Just like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's everything they do. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you never, and some of them be some of the main ones that be cutting the damn food, man. It's like
it's
almost like it's a cover.
And I believe that because when you see people who use some sort of leverage to promote their moral fiber, and that's like their theme, something's wrong because you don't have to proclaim your morality after every fucking sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And usually the ones who step on who claim the high ground are the main ones getting arrested and go to jail for the craziest things. That is the most immoral, the most heinous. And a lot of us aren't even surprised because it's almost like a template, as what you were saying, Mr. Nscinse, it's like a template. The person who says that I'm the best thing since sliced bread usually ain't the best thing since sliced bread.
And then like how
So
many people
I'm gonna
gotta
tell
keep
y'all
getting
this.
fooled, about okay, how you a pastor and you got a congregation and you got yachts and mansions and you got people that go to your church that not don't even know when they're gonna get their next meal. It's
Right,
like, and
right.
they people pouring so much money into the pastor, and the pastor just keep
I'm gonna
pouring
tell
money.
y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick. This chick I was talking to, super sweet, mad talented, heavy on religion, right?
Right.
Heavy, like every word came out of her mouth is scripture. This, and this, or whatever. So I'm talking to her, connection, whatever. She's like, well, tell me one of your favorite scriptures, and I was like, well, I can. I don't have a favorite. Um, and I'm not even gonna roll off like a scripture because some I know, some I don't know, but I'm not gonna parade around and dance like I know every scripture because I don't. I don't know them by heart, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
moment I said that, like I got cussed out. I got cussed out because I didn't know a scripture, like one of her scriptures or whatever, right? So that told me everything I needed to know about where this was gonna go. But a lot of people who are so tapped into like religion like that, and if you don't really bend to that moment, oh yeah, they are evil too. I mean, I had a
Yeah.
situation like that. I didn't talk
Yeah.
to her after I got, but she cussed the fuck out of me though. She was like, "You mother," blah, blah, blah." Like she went off on me
Wait,
because I
wait,
didn't know one
wait,
of
wait,
her
wait.
favorite scriptures.
Let me try to square the circle, right? This lady said to you, "What's your favorite scripture?" And you said, "I don't really
Yeah,
have one." And then the Miss
right.
Moral Bible following lady started saying, "You MF this and you MF that." Like,
Yeah.
make that make sense.
Hey man.
Make it make
Hey,
sense.
hey. It don't.
I,
It don't.
I,
So that that right there was enough for me to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And it
yeah,
was, I mean, saying that is to say that people again, they live through that. That's fine. But again, if you don't bend to whatever it is that they want in their life as far as what they expect from you, then they're a whole different person. They will cut you down. They will talk shit about you, or they will cuss you out, just like it happened to me. Like I wasn't gonna be like, you know what? I wasn't gonna do that. Like you gonna play this game with me? And I was like, you cussed me out because I didn't know one of your favorite
Was
shows.
she a new
Fuck, I don't
Christian?
care
Problem
you
is,
sound
what.
like a
What are
fake
you saying,
Christian to
B?
me.
Born again?
you,
Born
what
again?
you
No,
gonna
I mean a new Christian. I mean, in the last year or two, they done found God.
crazy Monique?
Yep, yep.
Bruh.
I don't know who you
Anytime
talking about.
the new Christians, that's their MO, boy, they get ultra God. What do you mean? It's like, oh, now you can't talk to me at all, bro. We've been cool for 22 years. I'm such
You
a
Exactly.
sinner
can't
now. Oh,
you
okay.
can't worship
but
God
now,
more powerful than I can worship God.
Exactly.
but
That
Like,
sounds
now
like a new
I'm
Christian.
a sinner, and I can't believe your motherfucking ass that you can't even tell me,
Damn.
a scripture off of my Bible that you know what I mean? Like it just turned weird,
I,
right? So
it's almost like the bro mentality of religion or the gamification of religion. And you trying to set some standard that it reinforces your own belief. Like, hey, I'm better than you because I know more scriptures than you. I met this one lady, and when I was doing some training, right, and we talked the whole week, the whole class, and we were just cackling, MS, all this and all that, right. And so at the end, we was like, hey, what are you doing off time? And she told the group, like, I'm a minister. And I said, well, oh, I'm sorry. If I knew you was a minister, I would have been a lot more respectful around you. And I wouldn't have been saying, cuss words, because I'm talking like, everybody's talking like at the bar and whatnot, right? And she said, no, don't worry about that, because that way I know what to pray for. You know what I'm saying? And the point is she didn't force her morals on any of us.
Right.
She just let us be who we were. And then when she said, I don't bother people because I know what to pray for, it's eye opening, because she wasn't trying to indoctrinate you. She was
Right.
trying to think what was best for you, or understand you as a person rather than try to bend you to their will. Which is like why a lot of people are leaving Christianity in America, because it's we were once on our education or doctrine, now we're on indoctrination. we're on being idolatry over ideals. So
Mhm.
you know, you we get I blame that community for causing so many people to leave Christianity because you have to lead by example. And I feel like when we have a culture of prosperity gospel, prosperity preachers, it's more like one time my mom got a phone call about a prayer cloth, right? And my mom was in between jobs and she was like, oh yeah, I really appreciate a prayer cloth. Well, if you give us a donation, you'll get this free prayer cloth. Well, I ain't got any money. Can you let me have the cloth? Because I want to pray over it. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's a business. It ain't no damn.
It's, it's
You
a,
know,
yeah,
you're
it's
supposed to be you're
business.
trying to get a blessing. They want you to do business. You know.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of those Curry vacuum salesmen when they come and say, "Well, we're gonna give you some free sanitation wipes if you let us uh demo your Kirby, right?" Or just say you're gonna have these free sanitation wipes, right? And you say, "Well, I don't got time. Well, can I have my wipes back?" But you said it was free. You said it was mine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's conditional, and people shouldn't be like that, and that's what drives me mad about some segments of Christianity, not all, but that it is required for you to behave a certain way, think a certain way, believe a certain way, rather than just spreading the goodwill and the moral essence of what God means to them. You know,
So Berkeley Mount Zion, that's where a lot of the family on my dad's side of the family would congregate, especially when I was younger, right? So
Mhm.
I would get like, because grandma, grandparents, cousins, all that shit, all was, we were all there. So I would get the, hand on the head. We're gonna pray for you and we're gonna hope that, things go well and we're gonna have the whole congregation just support you. And then I would go to my aunt's house and she'd be on the phone talking shit. Yeah, that motherfucker, like
no
that or whatever. Like,
lies
yeah, all of
told.
that.
I love my nigga.
We had all of it. We did
Look, be in the club Friday night and in church Sunday morning.
all of it, all of it.
All of
And these are some of these older ones too, though. Like I had an older aunt who was just ruthless. Like, but she would be all, praise God, and we going, all this. We gonna put your hand. You know how they put their hand on your head, and we gonna pray. Oh,
Lay hands
amen.
on you.
it.
Mhm.
And off
And
hours, she
then
put a shit
I
in the folks'
listened
tank.
because there was no cell phones back then, so phone ring after church after they make it back. Was it 3, 4, 5 o'clock or whatever? They on the phone talking shit about cousins or other people in the congregation or whatever it is. Like we had all that go on. Like it was crazy.
Mhm.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
My family on that side
yeah,
was ruthless because it was like literally like 50% Madison's and then everybody else. So we had everybody talked about everybody back then. And I would hear it as a kid, right? I would hear all the gossip, all of it.
man.
Deacons and my cousins,
Me too.
cousins and my other people on that side. Like it was so infiltrated with so much toxic shit. Like I just looked at it for what it was. Grandma made us go, so we just had to look at it for what it was, and it was just kind of like, ooh, I'm not gonna touch that one.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. And I would say, growing up in the South, like our churches, it was almost like, the Real Housewives of every city. It was always some drama. It was always some sort of backdoor stuff going on. Everybody's talking, and it to me, it was a very uncomfortable environment because it was a very strong social hierarchy, and they were very critical of people who are just being human. You know what I'm saying? And like Brandon said, it's an experience, which is why
Mhm.
me personally and like my grandmother, like we don't really go to everybody's church. We have a church in our hometown that our family has been going to, and a part of our family runs, and we go there, and really that's about it. And one other church in one of our relatives' old neighborhoods, and that's it. Everybody everywhere else, no. I tried, I can't do it. I went to one church. My mom, and she's like, "Oh, this church is great. You need to go." And I'm like, "Sure, I'll go." And then all of a sudden, I had to give like damn 5 offerings. I'm not even a member yet, right?
Yeah,
So
nah, bro.
and, and,
Nah,
and look,
nah.
I'm a struggling college student. I gave 3 offerings, And then the guy came back and said, well, everybody need to get $20 so we can support the TV show. I'm like, $20?
Hey man, hey, my daughter's mom, like she was Catholic, right? So I went to one of her churches because she wanted me to go.
Yeah.
So I put in $10 on the plate, right?
Right.
So she was like, "That's not enough. You need to give them more, right?" And I'm like, remember, this is my daughter's mom, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I gave him 10. That's good enough. I don't belong here." So
exactly.
And then, like I said, this was like before our daughter was born, so we were trying to, whatever.
Right.
But she was like, "Well, I'll just write a check for $50 more so you can add." And I'm like, "Well, I don't even see why you got to do all that.
Exactly.
Like, I can't. Listen. Like when I've gone to those moments of church, that's why I don't go to churches now. I've gone to enough to see what most of these ones are about, and it's collecting, and it's just saying who did what to where, and a lot of these people, coming from the backs of Saturday night clubs or whatever, still with their stuff on. So I've seen it all in Baptist and Christian and Catholic churches. I've seen them all.
Man, the biggest trick is how they got people to believe that Jesus or God or whoever that you believe in gotta have your money. He needs money. He's getting the money from you.
Right.
You're giving the money to me, and it's going to Jesus. I'm giving it to Jesus for you. You know what I'm saying, man? Please, get the hell out of here.
How the money that you gave them is supposed to bless your life to the point where because you gave it to me, then everything around you was going to be perfect.
I wouldn't have an issue with that if they were more. If the church is very active in the community, if the community can actually rely on that church when in times of need, I don't have an issue with that.
I agree.
Right.
Generally, that's the case.
I just think there's far and few between. Like I went to one church when I was trying to go church up here in Atlanta, and I went to a Bible study class, and then somebody walked in and was like, "Hey, everybody needs to give $70 to the church, and God's going to pay you back tenfold." And in my mind, I'm thinking, God
gonna pay you back. Wow.
And I'll be an MF, and I'll say, prove to me that God is going to give me $700.
Show me the receipt he gave you.
Show me the contract. Because I for you to say that and to make me feel obligated that I need to give you my money. You didn't ask for it. You said everybody gives $70, and the trade-off is you'll get back tenfold, as if that is a guarantee of a return on my investment. Now, if I have it, fine. But a lot of people in that Bible study class were students. They were working minimum wage jobs.
I didn't know to bring your credit card to Bible study.
Exactly. Exactly.
I see $10 or $20. You might have that on you. I don't know how much the average person carry on them, but I might not carry $100 on me every day. For what?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all ever get those moments after the plates being passed around a couple different times? You know what? For the congregation we have here, we got Miss Elma's going through her surgery right now, and things are really tough for her. So we're going to pass that collection plate around one more time for Miss Elma so we could be able to support her through her surgery and this, that, and the other, right? We had that.
And then Miss Elma, she was sick and never got the stuff that she was supposed to get.
Right. Yeah. That's what
if your church is actually having, when people are down on their luck, they trying to actually, if y'all working together like that, I'm pro that. That's what I was informed that I shouldn't expect that of a church, but that's what I would expect. I would expect that you should be able to go, man, you having a rough day, you go in there and man, Pastor, I need to talk to you.
I would, and I agree, V, but I would love to see it be actually put to use. Like somebody who really and truly needs it is taken care of because of it.
Right.
Like
they had a daycare connected to it. And everybody put you now. The reputation of the daycare wasn't good because it was my first protest. I'm not going back. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I ain't going back there. You used to get your ass whooped for not going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So if you ask people in my generation in Las Vegas that grew up on that west side that went to that damn daycare, they would tell you they were terrified of that, and they probably ended going there with a full-scale protest by them to their parents. That's what I had to. I ain't going back crying. Hell no. I'm not going back. What you mean you ain't? I'm not going back. I'll take the ass whooping you finna give me. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And then to the point where they like, well, damn, they serious about not going back. I'm not gonna take them back up there. That's how a lot of people I know stop going to this goddamn daycare. They had a full protest as a child. Like, no, I ain't going back because you would get your ass whooped, man. When when it was time to go take a nap, you better pretend you was. I got real good at pretending I was sleeping. If they caught you doing that, you still get your ass whooped. Wow. Yeah, bro. I was scared to death to go to this place. Scared to death.
Yeah, for real. Like, none
And
of
if I
my
can
church.
pull people up on the phone right now, I say, and if I ask them, did you go to the Design Methodist daycare, and watch what they tell you?
I'm traumatized.
That's like old trauma right there.
I laugh at it because I know several people that like, nigga, hell yeah. I boycotted, bro. That's how I got out of there. Did anybody graduate from that shit?
You survived it.
Surviving Zion Daycare. I'm finna start a Facebook page. I bet you I get a bunch of subscribers.
Do you remember that daycare? And you're gonna get everybody got triggered real quick.
Church, like I said, it was connected. Man, that church has a lot of memories, and the tragedy, because when I think that when we was talking about the insurance on one of the shows, that was the church I was talking about. That actually, you know, that is no longer the daycare is still there because that didn't catch on fire, but the church is gone.
Right.
Wow.
Right. That's interesting.
But religion can get. I don't subscribe to any religion because of that. Because usually I got driven out of Christianity because I would ask questions, and if they don't like the question you ask, it's like you committing a sin even asking a question. Well, you shouldn't question God. I ain't questioning God. I'm questioning you about some shit that's in this Bible. I just got a question. You if you don't know, and then I don't like when people try to go, well, you got to learn on your own. Okay, well, okay. In due time. In between that time, I ain't joining up with nothing you talking about. There. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
Hey, but why they get mad at you when you? Hey, listen, why they get mad at you when you don't want to join up too? To me, that's the wildest thing ever, though. Like, I had some when they're just like, no, I'm not going to join. I mean, I visited, but so you're not going to come back, and they take it personal that you don't want to join into their religion gang. Like, I'm not religious. I don't have a name to what I believe in. Like, I don't, because I've seen, everything that I need to see. And I don't go with what it is that they say they believe when it comes to their religion. So that's how I am. Am I spiritual? Yeah. But I don't have a name with what I got. So
yeah.
And some people get mad at you when you say that. Like, I know y'all not single. I am. So, I was engaged, so I'm like 3 years removed from that engagement. But you go out, you date people, you be like, oh, what religion are you? I don't have one. And they find that personal. They take that shit hella personal.
I've had people that I knew that I was close with and messed with for years completely cut me off for that shit. Like, I would consider a very close friend. Completely cut me off behind that shit.
And see, that ain't right either, dude. That's what I'm saying. It'd be so funny that the main people that chastise people about, religion, or whether they're Christian or they Muslim or they, whatever club, cult, or you can name whatever, you know what I'm saying? That do they really read what they're supposed to be reading? Because it's like, dude, I can read what you're supposed to be reading, and then
I don't get what you get out of it.
Your reaction is not what the word that you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Your reaction is not adding up. It don't make sense. Like, just
the message doesn't match the response.
My pet peeve is when people say, "Oh, you going to hell." How you know? How you know? You ain't supposed.
Well, you got a ticket there too, where you could be able to invite me in. Is that what it is, or what are we doing?
Get this. I would get people go, well, V, when you come to God, you'll be a change and be a much better person. I said, well, what's wrong with me right now?
Yeah.
What do you think is? What do you think that I do right now that's just so bad that once I find God, I'm gonna stop doing?
See that right there,
and they'll always look at me like, well, they don't have an answer, or they just don't want to answer it to me or something. I'm like, tell me, because I could probably change that right now.
And my thing is,
but see,
you could have been like, who's to say I don't know God? How you know that I don't know God?
Right. That's the whole thing about saying that you're religious versus spiritual. Like I would tell some of these people, look, I have a spiritual connection to what I believe in. Oh, but that's not enough. You have to be over here with my Christians and you have to believe in
Yeah, no, no,
right?
no.
So to me, I never understood that. So what you're saying is you can't understand my journey and what I gotta do because I'm not following your journey. Got you.
Remember,
That's what it
these
is.
people fail to remember that the church is the one that messed over Jesus. Jesus was not for the church. He wasn't at all.
The church messed over a lot of people, and people seem to forget that. And the first thing I always ask myself is how can you blindly believe blindly believe a religion that was designed to suppress you, to oppress you?
Yeah.
And not to say that I don't believe. I'm not a Christian. I am. Like people ask me why I'm a traditional Baptist. That's how I was taught to commune with God. Doesn't make me believe that I believe in the church. This just I use the traditions that I was taught to commune with God. But that does not negate the fact that me being the Baptist, that it wasn't forced upon my people, that it was a method of control of my people, it was meant to subjugate my people, and all these things, right? And I have to consider that. And when I see people who blindly follow religion as if it was designed to be as direct as A plus B equals C, I question that.
I think
I
they do it out of
question it.
fear.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't fear question. I'm like you, V. I don't fear that because, like, I would question my high school teacher about. She was like me and this Muslim brother. Actually, he was white. He was Muslim. He was a convert. But we would get into arguments with our algebra teacher over religion, right? Because she would say, "Well, if you're not a Christian, you're going to hell." And I'm like, "Well, what about people who don't know that Christianity exists because they live in other parts of the world? Oh, they'll get a pardon." Like,
Oh, that's what you got. That's the
it's
story you got. The story I got was he won't come back. Everybody will know his name before he does return.
yeah, it's always some sort of circumstantial thing that
What
validates
kills me is when
the
you don't
the
know
theory.
something. Like if you don't know something, just say, I don't know. I have to get back with you on that or something. They'll come up with their own shit and then try to
Hmm.
make you go. I said, well, that sounds like you said that. Is that what you
Right.
said? Well, it's all over. Simple question. Is that what the Bible said?
Yeah.
Because I can go read it for myself if that's what it said. That ain't the point. Yeah, it is. It is to me. I ain't taking
Hmm.
shit you say. What does it say?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I
That's
don't give a
right.
fuck what
And
you say. What does it say?
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
looking at your interpretation in any way, shape, or form. What does it say? And if they can't
right.
tell me that, if they finna fight with me for that, like you right, you had that.
Yep.
Whatever it
And
is you got going on over there, I don't want none of that.
mhm.
I don't want none of that.
Yep. And that's why I now have a larger interest in biblical scholars than I do of people who are in the church, because understanding the history of the Bible, the history of the words, how it came to be, it's the best filter. You can kind of see through the BS because you have the expertise to understand what words mean in context or what scriptures mean in context because of the history behind it. Because if you see a lot of people, these prosperity preachers and whatnot, they'll say some stuff like everything's the word of God, but then you go to a biblical scholar, there's only two instances in the Bible that quotes not directly.
Mm.
So make it make sense. The math has to, it has to, the context has to equate the message. You know what I'm saying? So again, like one brother said, who left the church, is that they're all just euphemisms, and the guy shouldn't lead in a healthy moral life. And other than that, that's what I take from religion for the most part, because I know a lot of people who live more holier lives than those who go to church every Sunday. They exalt the meaning of what God is more better than people who sit there and preach to you every 5 minutes about what the scripture says.
You know
And
what I like? I like the ones who is dedicated to going. If that's the thing you want to do, because
yeah,
your faith tells you that you want to go every Sunday and you're faithful to going every Sunday and
yeah,
you get it and you display it, like, not like, certain religions where you just got to go and make everybody become what you are, but you're really just trying to really be yourself. And this is what I'm connected with. That is your
right.
goal. You want to stay consistent and do it. I love, the people
I,
who's
I agree.
dedicated
I,
like
I
that's
promote that.
solid. That is their choice, and they're dug in like that. And all you got to do is respect it. That's what's up. I
Yeah.
just don't like the ones who just really go out and just, you know what, let me get this, so I'm gonna give it to you. Oh, you don't like it?
No,
Fuck you. Like some of them,
yeah,
there's some that's
or
like
I
that.
try to force it on you, and
Yeah,
that's the difference. I will try to force it on you, and if you don't believe what I believe, you are beneath me. You are the other. You will not get fair treatment. You will not be respected. You will not be. You not will be considered. And those are the people that gets under my skin because you'll sit there and they'll treat you like the nice person world as soon as you say, "Well, I don't believe in that." Then all of a sudden you chop liver. But you're not doing that because I am chopped liver. You're doing that to protect your feelings because now you feel threatened that I disagree with you.
yeah.
And the craziest thing is like we're all ex-military, right? And I grew up in a military environment, right, where we had different religions, different ethnicities, different groups, and I can go to my Seventh Day Adventist friend's house and I can pray with them every day before I eat dinner. I go to my Muslim friend's house and we can have conversations about the Quran and the Bible. I can go to a Korean my Korean friend's house and we can and they can talk to me about Jesus and even the branch that don't believe in electricity and stuff. We even had some of those who had certain hours a day they couldn't use electricity, and I could hang out with them, pray at their table, and they were not trying to tell me how to live my life. They were not trying to proselytize to me. They were just saying, "Hey, you come to my house. These are my traditions. Respect it. All right, I respect it. If I go into a vegetarian home and don't eat meat, I'm just going to eat whatever they put on the table." But it's not like that anymore. If you don't
Hey, hey,
agree with people,
vegetarians wouldn't do that with meat though. You come in, you give them a slab of ribs, they not gonna fuck with you.
man, listen. I got a neighborhood full of vegetarians because we had a large Indian movement come in, and they be sneaking that meat, dog. They be sneaking that meat. like some of my Indian neighbors, they say, yeah, I cooked this and I cooked that, and they came over and got a little bit of it. So it's it's all a spectrum.
They be slipping.
They
They
be
be
slipping.
slipping.
Now they be sneaking.
They be slipping.
They be sneaking.
I just know some hardcore vegetarians. Just if you serving it, they will not. I know a couple who will not stay at all. They be like, respectfully, I don't eat
Hmm.
meat, so I'm gonna raise up and get up out of here. Even if you don't give them a slab of ribs per se, and you're sitting at the table with
They don't
them,
be
they don't like the fact that there is meat on that
right.
table, so they would just get up and leave. So
You
I know
see,
some people like that.
yeah, and I know a few like that too. But thank God, I've had most vegetarian friends who, if they don't eat meat, they just don't put it on the plate.
Mm,
You know, they don't mind. Like I have a relative that comes up at least three times a month. She's a vegetarian, and she'll cook. Now she can cook. She'll cook chicken, ribs, shrimp, all that stuff. But she'll cook her food for her. You know what I'm saying? Because she just likes cooking. But she's never been judgmental. Now I do have one relative that was very judgmental, and I don't really fuck with that dude. If you can't respect me, I can't respect you. It goes both ways,
right.
But overall, I had to say I had some decent experiences with that, and actually I do know a few people who actually died because they were malnourishing themselves because they were either a raw foodist or they were strict vegetarians and they didn't understand the science behind being a vegetarian, that you have to have certain nutrients, that you have to have certain types of food in your system. If not, your organs can shut down and die.
Mm,
I had a coworker who was the same way. He was just one of those, like V said, those new people. He was a new vegetarian, and he's like, don't eat nothing that comes from anything that breathes, no milk, nothing. And he ended up dying because he had complete organ failure, and he had a do not resuscitate clause that he put on years ago when he was healthy,
mm.
before he was a vegetarian. And when his shit shut down, it was like, well, that's a wrap. You,
I think the human body is such a mystery that it honestly depends on a single person what they
right.
can consume or not consume, because my daughter can't, she's gluten free. There's certain limitations to what she can and can't eat.
That's like my
Um,
son.
and I'm good, right? Like I feel like, well, not anymore. The older I got, I can't fuck with dairy. I can't do a lot of other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But but some other people can handle it just fine, no problems, even as they get
Mm-hmm.
older and shit like that.
Right.
So it really is a DNA thing, and it just people decide that they want to become vegetarians or not. Like the vegetarian ones, they if they feel like their body is being cleansed and shit like that, and it affects your mind and your body, and you're able to move around and do the things you do, then so be it. Um, you know,
Right.
but at the same time, if you want to fuck around and eat a hamburger or something like that is that going to kill you though? It could, but I mean,
It
we
won't.
don't know.
Yeah. Like when I was stationed with Mr. Incense, I was a vegetarian for about maybe 2 years, and I didn't have any problems with not eating meat, right? But one day, we were on a mission, and we had a red ball in the middle of the air. I felt like the plane was going to crash, right? And then the day when I landed, I got my ass a steak.
You're like, fuck this. You're like,
but, but because I realized like I was eating this, I was a vegetarian because I love the principle of being a vegetarian, right? I felt like I was bettering myself. And then I kind of thought to myself, if I crashed today, what would be the one thing I would want? I want a steak. I want a fucking steak. So when I landed, I got me a fucking steak. And look, and I've been an omnivore since.
Hey,
hey,
Bebo.
I would recommend.
Now, did that steak tear you up though because you hadn't ate no meat in so long?
No, it really didn't. And I think the reason being because we traveled so much to where we always ran out of food, right? And then I always made the point when wherever I went to drink a little bit of the water, to eat a little bit of the local food, get the shit out your system, because they always say, "Oh, don't eat where you are because we got plenty of food." And every time we're out of food, and then everybody got to eat the food, and you got 80 people with diarrhea at the same time. And I'm like, I'm good. I done been through that process.
Right.
I'm straight.
Hey,
So meat didn't really tear me up.
have y'all like in the later years of your life had like certain scenarios where you cleanse your body? So you just go on a 3 day just
Yeah.
fast type of thing, but you just go straight. You know what? Only liquid smoothies, whatever. Like you kind of go on that little hype every once and again.
Yeah, you got to.
Especially when you can feel
You got to
it.
cleanse your system, man. You got to get all that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I do the things I do with the oil oregano. I do that because I'm a straight carnivore. I couldn't imagine just eating greens. I don't like enough greens to survive to do that.
Right. Me either.
But
Yep.
I'm a straight carnivore. I barely eat any type of vegetables and shit like that. So I'm just the opposite.
Mhm.
I done got a lot better,
Yeah,
man. Especially since we got out of the military, man. I eat all kind of vegetables now. Before I was kind of like you, V. I didn't eat a lot of. You know what I'm saying?
Rarely eat any kind of vegetables.
I still never will forget, man. My boy, he was the one that turned me on to the macro burger, man. I had never heard of that shit before, man. Until I linked up with V. V was like, man, I said, what the fuck is that, man? He said, the macro burger.
Burger. Shit, living in a dorm with a microwave, you learn to eat microwave shit.
Exactly. I'll eat those veggie burgers all the time, man. Every time a veggie burger hit at the chow hall, I was on it. But I ain't gonna lie.
They're not bad.
Meat, they're not. They're really good. They're really good.
That Impossible Whopper, I couldn't really tell that much. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's my go-to. Yeah. I love the Impossible Whopper. I can't tell you the last time I ate a meat Whopper at Burger King. I think maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, and yeah, you know, I enjoyed the veggie burger, but man, when I start eating meat again, that damn Air Force Prime rib, the crab legs.
I remember when I went to Turkey, I had stopped eating pork. Man, they threw me a party when I got home and shit, and had some beef, pork ribs, and that motherfucker. Boy, I nibbled on some of them, and I've been back on the pig ever since. Like,
I be trying to. I've lowered the, especially with the red meat, the steak, and the pork and all that. You know, I know a lot of that nexus is not good at all, man. So I scaled that back. Every time I try to get, I said, man, I'm gonna stop eating pork. Man, shit. Throw a damn rib, man.
Yeah, pork is tough because I like breakfast and breakfast without pork is
bacon.
Tough.
Bacon, bro. Bacon is good, man.
Pork
I feel like it's I still feel like it's a hit and miss with because a lot of people say for pork or whatever. I mean, I know people that lived a good, long, healthy life just taking all the goddamn time or whatever, right? So it just depends. It depends.
Yeah, the ones in the South when they eat a plate full of bacon, a month later they drinking a whole bunch of castor oil to purge their bodies, and that's probably one thing a lot of people don't do anymore is they don't like do it a sequence of maintaining your body. Like when we were kids, your grandma like, hey, you regular? Like, no, get some of this castor oil. You eat some vegetables, eat some pickled vegetables, and they just don't do that no more. Our diet is what we want to eat. And with me, I think I listen to my body more than anything. If I know something ain't right, I can feel it. So I say, you know what? I had a steak. I think I need to go ahead and eat me about a couple of salads for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? And so I just keep salads. I keep pickled cucumbers and tomatoes. And then when I went to Kenya, I found out that's a tradition. I'm like, well, I didn't know that, we were on trend, but yeah, you have to listen to your body and try to get food that supports you. And it's okay to eat what you want to eat as long as you do it with moderation.
Right.
So
and understand.
The big thing for me is soda. I'm trying to figure out something other than sodas to fuck with.
Oh man,
cut that down.
Hey,
you still mess with soda? Man, I
like tea, but the tea be so sweet because I like sweetened tea.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just as bad. I like tea.
Mm-hmm. I got soda water and I just get syrups.
You said syrup?
Yeah, because you make your own sodas. Because at least you don't have high fructose corn syrup in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you get the flavored syrups from those like what you put in drinks. Yeah. Same thing. You just
taste good. I've never tried those.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. I mean, it's just the old school formula. Back when you used to go to the soda jerks, our elders used to go to the soda jerks. They give us syrup, soda water.
I'm gonna have to look into that because if that can just curtail it a little bit for me, because I got a bad problem with that.
Look into Olipop, just like it sounds.
That shit is nasty. I didn't like that.
I've tried it too.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think we got a fucking refrigerator full of that shit from years ago. Like, dude, it's in the spare refrigerator. I'm like, man, ain't nobody fucking with that. You might as well go and get that shit away to somebody.
Is it just the kind you tried all of them though?
I've only tried one, and I ain't like one enough to not try none of the others. So I don't know. We got plenty of them in that motherfucking refrigerator. I'm like, man.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Root beer, that cherry cola ones. Those are the ones. There's some that's
look at what flavors we got. I know the one I got. I was like, I'm good. I ain't even finished that. I don't like that.
AV, I'm gonna tell you right now, V. Go to the store and you can buy your 2 liter bottle of soda water for probably like $1, right? Then go to the syrup side where you get all your flavored syrups. Get you coconut, pomegranate, passion fruit, whatever. Pour a little syrup in there. Put ice in there. Put that soda water in there and stir that shit up. I'm telling you.
Don't they got like Ninja like soda makers and shit like that too now?
You don't need that, but you don't need that shit. You just pour. Yeah, they got them, and I thought I needed one, but it's inexpensive. You just pour the syrup in the damn soda water and you stir.
So what makes that besides the glucose? What makes that a little healthier than
it? Because you can control the
sugar,
how much syrup in there, and then if you look at all of the chemicals that are in regular soda, right? You got high fructose corn syrup, all the additives and preservatives in there, and you just have basic syrup, soda. And if you don't trust the syrup, to make your own syrup, 1 part water, 2 parts sugar. Put you some extract in that thing. Put you some fruit, reduce it down, and you can make natural soda out of that. I mean, and then you know you're getting like, hey, if a can of soda costs you like $1, right? It may cost you like 7 to 8 cents to make a cup of soda. So you already saving money, and I'm a cheap bastard, so that falls right in my house.
We throw a lot of money. Most people throw a lot of money away. So any way you can figure out how to cut into wasteful spending is always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. And just let you know, that wasn't my idea. My wife was doing that when she came from California, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, but
that's
if it's
nice.
good and it's just shit, that's a good alternative. Because you was like, well, I'll drink juice. The juice, find out the juice worse than the goddamn. So like, damn,
Right,
and
right.
that'd be my thing. Finding a nice drink that I'm not gonna abuse and shit like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: when I went to Africa for the first time, and we got a Coke, the Coke tastes a whole lot better over there than it does here.
Mhm.
You know what I
And
did
then
do?
and then
I did do, which I haven't been because you could use beet sugar, which is better than regular sugar, and it does sweeten it pretty good. Now I have bought some tea, but I haven't been using it where you can get the tea, and then I use the beet sugar to sweeten it, and then that's a different and better tea.
yeah, I have palm sugar too, and that's pretty good, you know. And but yeah, over there, the when you look at the bottles, they only have 4 ingredients. That's it. You drink a Minute Maid orange juice, the shit tastes like orange juice, right? And then you look at it, it's just juice and water. You get cleaner. The cleaner is natural. Vinegar, whatever else in there, none of these chemicals. And then because they have they have stricter regulations, so they can't put as much stuff in their products for their brands as they can in the United States. But then if they argue about it here, they say, well, we can't afford that. You can afford to do it in Kenya. You can afford to do it in South Africa. You can afford to do it in Europe. Why can't you afford to make
They
healthier
make a
products
shitload
in the
more
United
money
States?
off this chemical that they give you instead of actual the shit that you want to buy.
Yeah, because they generate more product.
That an orange costs a synthesized orange costs way cheaper than a fucking regular orange. I just don't get that.
Yeah, yeah. It's all math, baby, and they just abuse it, because I'm thinking like all these businesses overseas, they have the exact same brands and they're successful making healthier products. Why can't they do that over here?
Right.
Because it's legal to do it and it benefits their pockets. Just like when we had the cards with the chip in it back in the day, that was a requirement in Europe. And then they said, well, we can't have that because it's too expensive, but you're doing it in Europe. All of a sudden regulations change. They have to do it here in the United States, those encrypted cards, and nobody's complaining about it. They're still making money hand over fist. They just didn't want to pay to cap the infrastructure built for a more secure paying system for Americans. That's it.
Wow. All right, fellas, we had 2 hours 22 minutes.
Oh yeah, we're good. I mean, we can't make it too big.
Yeah, exactly. So
because we're live now, we're straight because we can cut this up now that it's airing on YouTube and Twitch. It's great now, so we're good.
I'm watching it actually on YouTube on my regular TV. I'm watching it.
Yeah,
that's pretty
cool. You BMO look like your ass is on South White Underbelly.
Yeah. Hey, at first we talked until the sun went down, literally. So now all the light I have now is just my little headlight, and we had the natural light from the window. But hey, I look pretty cool.
Yeah,
I was right there with him, and then I turned my light on.
White Underbelly's set. Pretty good. That's some decent lighting. We using laptops and shit. I'm all right with that.
Hey, dude, it's my
white
Look,
out on the west where we at. It's daytime still. It probably won't be dark.
It's sun going down now, but
so it's 9:30. Where me and Neef is 9:30. So yeah. So I had a great time, y'all. Y'all want to keep it moving, or y'all want to go ahead?
Like I said, I wanted to recommend that when we do shows the next day, so we can get together to chop it up. Because I think that when we get too much time, it gets off. Like that might be a good section to chop up. That you forget it. So I think that, if we can probably get together the next day or so and chop it up. Well, shit, this live, huh? So they get this all the way the way it is.
Yep, until we end it. Or BMO, in your case, you can end it, and then we can still be on here until we all log off or leave or whatever. But if you want to end it, be my guest as far as the live, and then we can still stay on for a couple minutes or whatever. So,
All right. Well, if everybody's in agreement, I'll go ahead and end it in 10 seconds.
Yeah, let's end it.
Yeah, that's good. I got to take my medicine.
All right.
Follow TACT News on YouTube and anything TACT on Twitch and what is it? Twitch, Instagram. And TikTok. Next time we do this, I'll just go live. I'll just go live on TikTok too from another outlet, so we can be live on TikTok as well. So there you go.
Okay. All right then. Well, without further ado, it's been real. We're signing off.
Next time.